Step into my zone. Step into my zone. Step into my zone. Step into my zone.
Good afternoon, good evening, good night, whenever you listen to this. This is Macho Billy alongside my critique and partner in crime, Ricardo Medina.
Good day.
I don't know what that was. Was that Spanish? Was that French? Oh, you said good day. It sounded weird there.
Good day.
All right. Hola. Yes. This is another episode of Bears Beats Un Billy.
Yes.
Right. So, I wouldn't say we don't have that much to discuss, but just been a really hectic week, because of Father's Day, which, yes, at the time of this recording is. So yes, to all the fathers out there, happy Father's Day and all that jazz.
Yeah. Shout out to Yandu and Ego.
Right. Yes, for sure. Yes, for those who don't know, who haven't caught up on that joke, just check out Galaxy Volume 2. I believe it's still in theaters somewhere. I don't know, but anyway.
Yeah.
So all that aside, though, I have to say, rest in peace to John G. Avildsen. He was the director of the first Rocky movie that came out back in 1976. Won Best Picture and all that stuff. He will be dearly missed. It's a shame that not that many people have responded so much to that. The announcement came out. I believe it was Friday night, either Friday or Saturday night. I believe it's Friday night. But I haven't seen or heard anything much from people tweeting about it.
Yeah, it was just such a big news. I mean, I think more people talk about Bill Cosby. So
yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. And also too, in terms of deaths, Stephen Furst from Animal
House.
Passed away.
He's
63.
Right.
Great character. Great actor, I should say, from I'll say timeless comedy movie, Animal House. Right. Yeah.
I know him as what was that character? We're telling from Babylon 5. That is how I knew him now.
Oh really? Okay, he was in that.
He was in Babylon 5. I forget what character he was named. Very something. I forget what the character. He's a small character.
Right. So today we have 4 films, so pretty much to talk about. The first one being a short film that I wasn't aware of until you mentioned it to me a few days ago, Ricardo. It's a short film directed by Neill Blomkamp. He's the guy who directed films such as District 9, which was his breakout movie back in 2009. He also did Elysium, which I liked for the most part, but don't really remember much about it. And then he did Chappie, which was that show that I just did not get around to watching. I just heard so much bad things about. But anyway, this one here is the first film out of his studio. Yes, the guy has his own official production company. It's called Oats Studio. Oats Studios, and the name of the film is called Rakka.
Right. Blomkamp is a person I have a lot of respect for because of District 9. And the big thing with District 9, I remember, was, it came and it went. A lot of people loved it. It had an awesome trailer. It had an awesome marketing campaign for it.
Of course. And he had Peter Jackson in his corner. Think about that.
Yeah, and what the big hype for it, everybody was like, but it came and it went. A lot of people enjoyed it for the most part. People I remember only Nostalgic Critic having an issue with it. But that wasn't the big sell for District 9. What blew a lot of people away was the budget. It was only $30 million.
Yeah.
So a movie like that.
He shot it in South Africa.
Yeah.
It was not some big American studio lot or whatever.
No. Right. And what ended up happening, so people was like, that was kind of like a big hope for a lot of people because holy shit, you could do that for $30 million. Because I remember when seeing the film, I was kind of underwhelmed by some of the special effects. I was like, the special effects in a mess, right? But in my head, I was thinking that still costs minimum $90 million, and he cut corners. When I heard $30 million, I was like, what? The $30 million issue is a little bit of a kind of a misleading because a lot of the set and all of the spending happened before because if I remember correctly, and somebody could correct me on this, you could probably correct me on this, but if I remember correctly, it was supposed to be the Halo movie.
From this, all right, I could be wrong with this, but I believe it's when I think that either Peter Jackson and slash or Guillermo del Toro were interested in making a Halo film, and after they saw Neill's short film, which inspired District 9, they were like, okay, well, this guy could be the one to do it. But I think that deal kind of fell through the cracks.
It fell
and it's
through.
just like, well,
But
all right, let's do District 9 because this is, something that, some passionate that he always wanted to do.
But from what I understand, a lot of these sets and props and things were already made and already kind of like a lot of the sets, props and stuff that was supposed to be for the Halo movie was already done. So that's what we saw in District 9 now. That's what we saw, like the vans and all the trucks and all of that shit.
What about the weapons?
Well, I know about all of that in terms of like the weapons look, because you could have. I don't know if it was that.
Biggest
but
Halo
again,
fans, I wouldn't know.
You're right, but again, well, it was none of the. Well, I don't think any of the weapons in District 9 was anything like the weapons in Halo or anything like that. Granted that District 9 had a real first-person shooter bent to everything.
Yes, yes, it did.
In terms of the variety of weapons, lightning gun, gravity gun, shit like that.
Love that gravity gun, by the way.
Yeah, you pick on everything, right? And then, but from what I understand, what I thought it was that he just like I thought he had his own like CG company, So I thought all of that was his now. Not realizing, no, most of the, I think, from what I understand, where they got away with a lot of the expenditure was the fact that this was a scrap project and they just took all the scrapped ideas that the studio already spent on and they just end up scratching, because that's end up happening with films a lot. You have a lot of work got done and then they'll kind of pull the plug on it now. That's what I think happened. So that's where they kind of got off. They didn't have to spend as much money, and it's like, all right, cool, I just have my own story, and it was based off of his short film, I think, with his Straight Out of Joburg or something like that. I forget what was the actual short. Alive in Joburg.
I forget the name of it, but something in Johannesburg. Yeah.
Alive in Joburg.
No, Alive in Joburg. That's the name of it.
Yeah, Alive in Joburg, I think. Right. And he just decided to expand these ideas, and it ended up coming across like a really awesome project for the most part. I mean, it was Shalto Kubrick is the first time I heard of him.
Yes.
That guy was like
his performance. And he really kind of set himself as that one South African guy who just loves to use the F word a lot.
Right.
Especially the second half of District 9. Oh my God.
Right.
Yeah.
But it to me, it as a simple story, it worked for the most part. It real sequel bait. We still didn't get to see the supposed sequel of him coming back 3 years later.
Well, what I would say though is, like, for me, it doesn't need a sequel. I remember the first time I saw it, and real people was like, well, yeah, we got to get District 10. I was like, you don't need to. The story has ended.
Right.
Shalto's character has become the very thing that he has hated. That's the point. That's the end of the story.
Yeah.
I always love like the satirical, the really biting satire about it, about race and those kind of things.
And it totally worked given the context of South Africa. With the film,
yes.
They do this really awesome alt reality, apartheid ended under incredibly different circumstances. But it totally worked. I absolutely love that movie. Big fan of it.
And what I really love about that movie too is that it shows that with sci-fi, you can touch on, social issues. It's been done for years, like in the 60s and 70s, but, with the 80s and 90s and stuff, has always been, about, just the usual alien invasion stuff, but they never really took a different stance in it. But here, it was more about, racism and those kind of things, and how they approached it was really clever.
And it was done in a very explicitly African context. That's what made it work. Really well. It just had the look and the feel of everything. You really get that. I don't know what to say. I don't want to say post-apocalyptic, but you got that just grimy grit to everything. Everything dusty and gross,
dusty roads and stuff, and
right.
It kind of it really does legit look like this is how South Africa would be. If there was an alien invasion that happened like right now.
Right, you really got that sense of things. And I'll say, you could, again, nitpicking out to the whole thing. The world building had a couple issues here or there, but for the most part, because another big thing is the documentary style of the whole thing. That was just a big, totally make it work in the context of everything. It's told
I love that approach. Well, honestly, like the first time I saw it, I did not expect that it was going to be like that. And then when it started to unfold now, I was like, oh my God, I'm really loving this approach, this documentary style.
And to me, that film everything just kind of fell together and made it totally work. It was a big hit for a lot of people. And in my opinion, it's like a sci-fi classic. In my opinion, it totally worked for me. Loved it.
Same here.
But so then he's a big hit now in Hollywood, and he decides to do Elysium. That's his next project, and boy, that shit just landed like a dud for me. It wasn't bad.
Didn't hate it, but I kind of looked out of it like, this could have been way,
I
way,
didn't
way
hate it
better.
either.
I find that it just hammered us over the head with the
With it,
topics
right.
about
It
healthcare
is
and all these kind of things.
Obamacare message, yeah. The
Yeah,
Obamacare
and
message.
it just didn't
No, it
really
didn't.
do much with the premise, really.
Right, that's the big problem with the second one is that you could totally tell that he just couldn't control the studio. Like, this is the mistake of what has happened when a studio get in your way, because you could tell him, like, scene almost cut for cut what the studio fuck with and what he wanted with that movie. Like, in terms of world building, structure, like, you could, like, it didn't feel like his style at all. And I'm not talking about, well, it's not a documentary this time, no, fine, but it just the world building and didn't work at all. A lot of it didn't make sense. Like, compared to District 9, where, all right, you have an answer for almost every question, even though you could, like, nitpick and fight down almost every question,
Right.
in terms of, like, well, where this is, or who's involved, who should be involved in this here or there. But in this world, a lot of it didn't make any sense to me. And people who was the questions to answer the questions, it kind of had answers, but it was so, like, weak and unsatisfactory, in my opinion.
Like for one thing, what were those people doing up in Elysium? Well, the easy excuse is, well, they could afford to go up there while the poor people have to stay in
right,
like shanty towns or whatever. But still,
right.
like,
But the problem is that
I don't know.
The problem is that if you're doing better world building, then that it have so many ways to sabotage Elysium, and other than just, well, we somehow controlling the resources. Like, how? It's just one space station. How much control
exactly.
you have? They didn't seem to have any major control in terms of the robots was powerful, but not really. You could still really sabotage these things. Another big problem I had with Elysium is, like, wait, isn't the whole planet supposed to be like this? So where the hundreds of ships going up? Where the hundreds of ships going up is only this one little tiny group learn to hack the 2 or 3 ships a year, really? Another thing is that they could have come up with a better system. Like, it should have had more space stations, in my opinion. Like, you have a whole network of space stations, so you really get a sense of an oppressive kind of regime, controlling Earth. Like, you could have got, I don't know, it's stuff like that I find. And then it had a bunch of other dumb shit in it, like, oh, that's how he decided to get injured because of the radiation, and it just really contrived, inciting incident. A lot of it didn't work. It had its moments. It had some awesome moments. Again, the gun stuff was great as usual. It was like another first-person shooter. And Sheldon Cooper comes back as the villain, he was awesome in this. I thought he's the only reason I liked it for the most part. Matt Damon kind of fell dead.
I kind of forgot what he did. What his motivation was anyway.
Yeah,
I'm not saying he's terrible in it, but I just don't remember what he did.
No, what he was sick. He got a radiation poisoning, so he needed the magic, the magic healing machine.
Yes.
Right, that is basically what happened. And then they had to hack him and hack into Elysium, and they wanted to. It had a whole dumb story. It was weird. And the president was Jodie Foster and she had a weird accent in this, and she was trying to control things by changing the system for some reason and trying to go behind the government because she hate poor people so much. And they tried to do this complex political plot, but a lot of it didn't work or just fell flat. And yeah, so I was like, oh, you already get to see what has happened when somebody from outside the system, you just get to see what has happened when you actually start to work within Hollywood. It'll fuck with you. Kind of like I'll say like Joseph Padilla and RoboCop is another example like that. He's from Brazil. He's an excellent Brazilian filmmaker, and then he just do this really satirize
that remake that we all wanted.
Yeah. Now here's the thing. He was kind of, in many ways, he's kind of the perfect person to do RoboCop if you're doing a remake, because of his understanding Brazilian crime and that whole culture. No?
Yes.
He just, because of the studio does fuck with him. And that movie I'll actually defend a little bit in the sense that if it was rated R, it would have been much better.
Of course.
Much
yeah.
better. Yeah, shit like that. So it's little stuff like that. You just have no power over as an outsider filmmaker. No matter how good you are, sorry, Hollywood will fuck you. And you can't really do anything about that. They've been doing it
for decades, people.
Yeah, sorry to say it. It have very few foreign filmmakers who come in and control the situation. Very few.
Yeah.
And yeah, he was a person like that, and then he decided to do Chappie, and boy, it got even worse.
Chappie, like I say, I never saw. I just heard bad things about it. I heard that the characters were terrible. I heard that.
Right.
I don't know. Just the story didn't.
Yeah,
really
a lot
work.
Again.
I just heard things really. So
I just avoided it. Again. It was more extreme than it was much worse than Elysium in the sense of a bunch of good ideas and a lot of it fell flat. And look, I like Antwoord. I like Antwoord, I should say. I don't know how to pronounce the name. Is this
I think it's
Dutch?
Antwoord. I think it is.
I can't remember. And those two are terrible fucking actors.
I heard that. I heard that they were like the worst thing in the whole movie.
Right. They have great energy, and look, they have great energy and personality. Just raw. And it's South Africa, and these two guys just punk rocky, crazy shit. But dude, and I kind of like some of the music, I'll admit. But they can't at all. Neither of them could act. They just so terrible on screen. They didn't know how to control themselves. They could tell they didn't have any like self-control on set, so they just had to do the blandest way, and they didn't know how to control and channel that energy to put it on the screen. So it was just nonsense. And you know, the ideas were okay, but it just fell flat. Now I know a lot of people who like actually defend this film. It wasn't that bad, but yeah, this didn't work for me. And so again, you realize, holy shit, this man really can, you know, control things. So I was like, when I saw he have his own studio, and it's like, oh well, he's gonna try to go outside the system, man. You know, he's gonna make his own movies with blackjack and hookers. I was like, all right, cool. He's gonna try to do something interesting, but it's gonna look like shit, and it's gonna be like really boring storytelling and terrible. And I was like, when I saw he had Sigourney Weaver for his project, I was like, whoa, that ain't so bad then.
Exactly.
And this was actually a pleasant surprise.
Yes,
it was a lot better. It wasn't the best thing ever. It was still kind of bland storytelling. But to me, they should get him to take over from Fallen Skies or something, because this is like almost identical to Fallen Skies, and it was way better. Holy shit, it was actually really grimy. He went back to the grimy rated R nature of District 9. We get to see people get to shatter into meat. And this I actually enjoyed. Decent world building, nothing too brilliant. If you watch Fallen Skies, it's pretty much the same story in many ways. But they make it real gross and grimy, and you know, world building was a lot better. But I really enjoyed this. I didn't think this was so bad at all.
Well, I pretty much enjoyed it as well too. The premise, without really spoiling too much, is just essentially like just these aliens, very, very vicious aliens, just come down, you know, looking at us humans as just like meat and just torturing us in all kind of ways and all that kind of stuff. And it's just this one last stand against these alien invaders. It just basically sent us on this this black character. I was, you know, all through this I was wondering if he was Rakka, but I could be wrong. I'm not sure what the term means, but basically he has the same sort of this kind of telepathic powers that these aliens have. And these aliens themselves, they are reptilian in appearance, and I really like the apparent. I really like the character design for these creatures. There were some points where like the head itself looked like it just felt like it could just kind of detach itself from the body. You know, it kind of just threw me off a little bit. But other than that, though, what we see, and it's basically just split into 3 chapters. The whole film pretty much runs for 22 minutes, and it's just basically like just seeing how these aliens have kind of, you know, tried to wipe out humanity, and now these humans, you know, taking this last chance to try and wipe them out, you know. So it's just basically your introduction to this grander, this bigger story here, this
world.
And I pretty much enjoyed it as well. I was impressed by what he managed to do with the budget. Like, I don't know how much it was, but just what he managed to do in terms of, you know, set design and cinematography. Yes, the cinematography is superb. Sound design was great. The music is ominous and dark, as you would expect from a dark film like this. And yes, this film is really, really, really dark, to the point like, you know, it's like almost hopeless. It's just a bunch of like just doom and gloom for the most part of it. But I do like in the second half where you do see little glimmers of hope though. The characters were pretty interesting though, but I understand because of time you really can't develop everybody. You know, there are 1 or 2 characters who are developed, but you know, once again, because of time you can't really do that much. I felt that the ending, you know, well, the ending kind of ends in such a way where it's like, yes, I want to see what happens next. But yeah, in terms of just creating this world, making me kind of believe it in a way and making me kind of care. Okay, you know, I could just be watching all this stuff and be like, yeah, well, humans will rise up, well, you know, one way or the other. But here, it really does feel like, yeah, this is really a last effort. If this thing doesn't work out, then that's it, you know. You really do feel that dread throughout the entirety of this film. What else? The visual effects I thought were pretty decent, and I really like what Neill kind of doing here with this Oats Studio here. It reminds me because like I watched the promo for Oats Studio. It's like, what is Oats Studios, right? And one of the guys was saying this is kind of like a Roger Corman kind of thing, and I was thinking, yeah, in a way it is. You know, it's like Neill, and he has his ideas. He has a team of, you know, visual effects artists at the side, and you know, and it's just about them just creating these quote unquote experimental films. And even with the way how this story was told was kind of experimental. A lot of flashbacks and flash forwards, but it done in such a way where you're not really sure which is which. Really, you're just kind of just seeing images and stuff like that. I just like the idea that a guy like Neill could actually just do stuff like this. It's not like he has any deadline to worry about, or you have to send it to a
That's the
studio.
important part.
So it's glad that he basically has his own playground to do whatever he wants.
Right.
But still please the fans of those who were riding with him ever since District 9. And that's a great thing. I have to respect.
Yeah. When I heard the word Rakka, I thought it was something related to the situation in Syria. Because there's a place called Rakka, I think in either Syria or Iraq or something like that. But that's Rakqa. So I thought it was something related to that. And well, in a sense, it's kind of like that because it's like war and suicide bombing and shit like that. Like how desperate you had to fight against the occupying force.
Yeah.
So it might have some subtext there, maybe. Basically, what's happening to the humans is essentially the same thing that what the machines did to the humans in the Matrix. That real similar template to everything.
Yes.
There's
And the subject of that, by the way, well, good thing you mentioned Matrix as well too. I saw, well, it's clear there. I saw allusions to Terminator 2.
Right.
More Terminator 1 actually. With those underground.
Right, that same look to everything.
Yeah.
You could tell he just wanted to tell the story. Again, it's not the most original premise, but again, it's not that you tell the story, but it's how you tell your story.
Exactly.
I'd expect some brilliant new science fiction or any shit like that. Tell a good story. I find with that. Don't do nothing to blow me away, right?
Exactly. And that's the thing with this story here. It's not really like, okay, we're gonna tell you this exciting story with a beginning, middle, and end. It's just, okay, I'm going to show you this very mind-blowing short film, and you're going to be like, wow, this is like Hollywood, but it's not, you know what I mean? And I'm just going to blow your mind for 22 minutes, including credits, and that's it. It's not like, okay, you're going to get some kind of satisfying conclusion. You're going to get more, and I'm hoping that we do get more. I know it's experimental, but you can't just start a story like this and just drop it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, from what I understand, it's something akin to a series. I have no idea. Like, I haven't done the research to see how much episodes it is or anything like that. But yeah, I think we're just gonna get extra stuff. I just thought, look, this is kind of the dream in the sense. Look, in the end of the day, it have a serious price to pay, in Hollywood. And Hollywood, the thing is, creators and filmmakers and these kind of types tend to suffer from what you call the poor master problem, which is you prefer to be a poor master than a rich servant, ultimately. And dude, this man is in a really good.
No, I'm saying that's deep, by the way.
Right, yeah, no, and that's that's kind of the position you have in it. You prefer to approach life like this. In the end of the day, yeah, I am more power to Neill Blomkamp. I prefer shit like this where you have creative freedom, but it's not looking like, say, a big Hollywood movie like Pirates of the Caribbean, the Marvel films or something like that. Yes, okay, it'll never look like that, fine. But you could cut around shit like that, and your budget not that big. And to me, this is the ideal place where filmmakers should be. Another company like that is kind of A24 is another company like that, and of course, Blumhouse. It's in this great place where you have creative freedom. You don't have studio suits fucking up your film with the bullshit, and you just make your movie. And yeah, there's a sweet place to be, and I'm just totally happy that I am more power to Neill Blomkamp. I want him to do other projects. I want him to hire other great sci-fi minds, younger filmmakers coming up. He could be the sci-fi A24, the sci-fi Blumhouse now, because sci-fi get to the point now where you could do any shit with this, but it had to be its own thing.
Mm-hmm.
And he could be a guy like, look, $5 million, do something. Give me a 90 minutes something and just tell a real damn good story.
Yeah.
And that's how you go and be from here on in. Again, he be doing things, and this is the real disruption of film. Not if some camera cheap or some shit like that. It don't have to be like that. But to me, this is the real disruption film needs. Not trying to break into Hollywood or any other shit. Cut them out. They're gonna fuck up. They to me, the content stuff anyway. We had a set of garbage movies this year already.
Oh yeah.
To me, so far the best, one of the better films of the year was a $5 million film. The movie that won the Oscar, guys.
Yes, guys, Moonlight, folks.
Moonlight won $5 million. So
the little film that did.
Yeah, the little film that could, right? Yeah. So do it. And this is a real sense of hope with this. I really enjoyed what's going on here. As I say, look at it really felt like Fallen Skies, and Fallen Skies is a show that started so good and then they fuck it up.
So that's why I never got.
No, that is basically what it started good, not brilliant or great, just good, and then they fucked that up so royally. Holy crap! I totally signed off for it after about the second, third season. I was like, yeah.
How
Dolly
many
Rel-
seasons
them-
are in it? Again, I
a lot,
just
you know. It get because I don't know why it had so much pull to not get cancelled by now, but
they had a huge fan base, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know because I was like, who watching this? But apparently people watching it. I think and well Steven Spielberg was involved in it, but I don't know. But this where it should be. This is the new Hollywood in a sense. This is what because it kind of harkening back to the time of Spielberg and them, no? You know,
Yes,
where
yes, it does.
they blow up into big massive successes, but before they do the bullshit too, they do the small bullshit. It wasn't a thing. This idea that you need to have a kingmaker and you know the producers need to lose power at this point, in my opinion. You know, very few producers actually care about the material. DC and Fox fucking it up. Sony's like the poster child of this bullshit,
Boy.
right? Where you know, so I really tired of this, and in my opinion, they need to lose power. They need to really lose their grip on the system. I don't care how much money you have. Your movie's too bland. They're too watered down. They're too designed by committee.
Too unoriginal.
Too unoriginal. Stop that shit. Yes, you're giving opportunities to people in an interesting way, but it coming across as just corporate sanitized bullshit, and you know the box office reflecting that.
Yeah.
So at the end, I look this hope for me in the future. If anybody could have done it, it would have been Blomkamp anyway. So I really hope you know in the years coming we get to see you know films do some opportunities for other younger filmmakers to come through this channel, not the big Hollywood system. This is the real disruption. Netflix and Hulu and this kind of stuff. So I just my 2 cents.
All right.
Moran.
Well, okay, good run by the way, and very good points here. What I would say in closing, you know that this is very impressive here. It really does show you know the power of YouTube. You know, just power of the small screen. You know, we've been seeing it before with Netflix, but now we're seeing it here with YouTube. Where I know it's amazing that this seasoned director who has been in Hollywood, you know, for a while, you know, is willing enough and brave enough to actually, you know, not just create his own studio, but, you know, make the films that he wants to make and put them out for his fans out on YouTube. I think that's very impressive. It really does show not just for the big directors, but also for the indie directors out there that, you know, there are other options out there to put out your stuff. It's not just, oh, well, it's about film festivals and all that kind of stuff. If you want to make a show about, you know, last stand against this big alien race and you want to do it on, you know, do it small scale on YouTube, then why not, you know? And yeah, you know, props to Neill Blomkamp. I hope that he actually follows up this film here, because I don't want it to just be this one-off thing that we just waited for years because, oh, we didn't have enough money. But I really do want to see more from him. I do like the idea of it being experimental, where you could try new things out. As for, you know, the future with him and Hollywood, I'm not sure. I can't really say. I would kind of like for him to actually make some kind of big sci-fi classic, you know, under Hollywood.
Oh, look.
I don't know if it'll happen, but if
here's the thing. No,
for now he has this, and I have, you know, respect to him.
Again, if look, as I say, the ultimate situation with Hollywood is that you want to have the benign dictator, right? Yeah. Where you have the resources, you have the pull, you have the energy and money, but you have real thing. And to me, the decent balance is not the best ideal situation, but the decent compromise is what Marvel is doing, right? For the most part, right? What Disney is doing, for the most part, where they pull in small directors and then they're propping them up. I love James Gunn. He's a really creative guy, but you could tell that compromises are still made. That is fine. Yeah. But them is like, if you think about it, they're probably the only guys who are doing it in terms of that level and that scale. You know? Everything else is bullshit. Sony, bullshit. Fox, bullshit. Sorry. DCU, well, they're in a kind of weird place right now. I don't know what's going on yet, but so far, bullshit, right? In my opinion. Yeah. Right? And then everything else is just tiny stuff in terms of like actual interesting material. Right? Studios just going by the numbers with this bullshit now. Yeah, kind of making money, but only making money by raw attrition. Yeah, in the sense that, well, it's just, it have a bunch of popcorn eating masses out there and they're going to watch this bullshit anyway, kind of thing. And then we have China, which is a different story entirely. And you have these kind of noble failures as well. It's not to say that you're not getting interesting stuff. I mean, take, for example, Duncan Jones and Warcraft, right?
Yeah.
That was a kind of noble failure. It to me, it fell flat. A lot of it didn't work, although it did bank in China. But in the end of the day, it's like, yeah, you had to have a weird compromise. And to compromise for how Western audiences, and I don't know what to call us. I don't know what to call this current audience of film intelligence here for the most part. Consumer, right? Film consumers in the West, where very, very jaded. We're kind of past postmodernism at this point in terms of like what we want from our films, how we want our ideas to be, how deep and conscientious we want them to be. But you could tell that it have other markets that they're going to cater to from here on in. And I'm going to talk about that with our review of The Mummy, yeah? Because,
the Mummy,
boy...
which we'll get to in a bit, guys. Don't
yeah.
worry. But good point. So what I would this final thing. If I could rate it though, I would say it is worth checking out. I mean, it's on YouTube. You can't go wrong with that. What I would say though, if you seriously love sci-fi, then you will enjoy every minute of it. If you don't care about sci-fi, if sci-fi is like your least favorite genre, then you wouldn't care for this at all. You just watch this and be like, it's just gloom and doom and death and reptilian creatures. You wouldn't care about it at all. But if you love sci-fi, that this right here, Rakka, is for the sci-fi heads out there. And if you are one, I strongly recommend that you check it out. And support Oats Studios, man. I mean, Neill, do your thing, man.
No, but and as I say, when it comes to science fiction, you could either go one or two directions for the most part, where you could either have a really, really genuinely interesting premise, original idea and premise, and subvert those tropes. Where you could do that. Like, I don't know what movie off the top of my head, probably Interstellar or something ambitious like that. But because it's so ambitious, you're not executing the idea so properly. That is one trade-off. Or you could have a not so original premise, but you flesh it out in a really nice, detailed way. Right? Rakka kind of does this, and that is the second camp. Right? And then the third option is what Jordan Peele did, where you have a straightforward idea and premise that, it's, as I say, it's like a Twilight Zone or Outer Limits episode, but you do a lot of modern socio-political subtext with it.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So you have one of those three hooks. Solid world building, and I'll say it's 2 out of 3 in most cases, right? You pick 2, or sometimes you pick 1 and do it very well. But those are the 3 kind of general trifecta to make a film work. And well, I don't know any films off the top of my head in recent times that did all 3. For me, the last time a film did all 3 for me was probably the first Matrix. But that's about it. I can't think of any film, any big modern sci-fi film that really do that for me. Personally, I can't think of the top of my head. What's the big sci-fi film for you that come out recently that really like blew you away? If I can't think about it, it probably didn't stick.
Yeah, I try to think of some myself.
I can't think of the top of my head that is like, wait, boy, this was a real mind-blowing kind of thing. Interstellar was probably the closest, maybe, but even that kind of fell apart coming out to the end here. I can't think, or probably Ex Machina, maybe.
Yeah, which was your favorite movie of 2015?
Right, probably Ex Machina. That's probably the only thing I could kind of, but even Ex Machina was still, it did a lot right, but it still had a lot of derps in it in terms of the script. Like, I'm a nitpicky kind of guy in that way. I don't know. Whatever. Right. Rakka is the hope for the future. I love it.
Yes. Same here too. By all means, guys, check it out as soon as you can. Like I say, it's for the die-hard sci-fi heads. You'll have a blast with this one. Yeah. So we'll stick with the post-apocalyptic theme here, and now we're gonna get to the TV series based off of the quote-unquote controversial 1985 novel of the same name. Of course, I'm talking about The Handmaid's Tale.
Yes.
Wow. And
Margaret Atwood.
Yes. The book, which I have not read, but I am familiar with the movie which came out in 1990. I haven't seen it, but I know that it came out then. I don't know what the reception was. I don't think it was like that bad of a movie. But I'm glad that, just somebody just decided in this day and age to actually do over the story, retell it, in this case, through television.
Speaking of socio-political subtext, holy crap, what perfect timing for this series.
Yes.
Especially what going through what going on with the American left in particular. Again, I've been a little hyperbolic with that, with the given reality, but it totally fits in many ways. I mean, a lot of this falls in line, especially with women's rights, feminism, and if you want to be serious and not be hyperbolic about it, a lot of this is going on in many other parts of the world. Going on. So you could probably make that case. For the most part, this is the thing is, by the time the book came out, it wasn't that impressive. The whole idea of a social dystopia, the idea of a social dystopia, not a overall apocalyptic dystopia, but what they do is they create a scenario and then you have a social dystopia, right? And by the time the book came out, it had the premise of like a 1960s or 70s dystopia, but it was written by the time 1985. So it came in the tail end of that whole I don't know, a subgenre in a
Yeah,
sense
it reminded me a
of
lot
science
like
fiction.
1984 Fahrenheit 451, those
Right,
kind of shows.
right,
Sorry, those kind of
right.
books.
Those
Sorry.
kind of
Yeah.
books. Right, exactly. And it's a pretty short book for the most part.
Oh, really? Okay.
But yeah, it's not that long of a book, and it doesn't do as much world building as this. And I'm gonna get into one little small detailer, one nitpick I have, but I could see why it could still work for the most part. So I'm not fighting it. Don't have a big problem with it. I had a big problem with it when the first episode was out, but seeing out the entire season, it's like, all right, that ain't so bad. It actually make a lot of sense once they explain the world. The world building is a lot better than I expected it to be. Anyway, this is a solid damn series. It's about a character called Offred,
Mm-hmm.
right? What's the real name again? Susie.
No,
Shit,
June
June,
Osborne.
sorry, yeah.
That was her name.
It's played by one of my favorite actresses,
Elizabeth Moss. I'll
Moss.
talk about her performance in this series after.
Yeah.
But continue.
No, but she has just so many good shows. She's in Mad Men. She's in a show that I love. I totally recommend to people, and it's a season 2 supposed to be coming out soon, called Top of the Lake.
I've been hearing about this show a lot.
Dude,
a lot of great
let me tell you
things about
something.
that show.
I dare not spoil the ending of that season to you because it completely catch me off guard. Holy shit, that fucking shit catch me off guard of what they was doing with that. That finale is like, what? That is what going on there? That catch me off guard. I don't know if anybody else guessed that. I didn't guess the ending to that first season at all. I really hope it gets a second season. Think of it as a New Zealander version of True Detective. It's kind of like that.
Right.
It's somewhat like a kind of True Detective of New Zealand. That's how it feels.
Okay, nice.
And another big thing about it is that all the people from the piano a lot of people from the piano is in it.
Like what, Holly Hunter and
Holly Hunter, right? Yeah.
Happy Keitel.
I think they wanted to get Anna Paquin to come back, but they couldn't get her because she was in True Blood at the time, and they couldn't get her. That she was the only person I was missing. But almost everybody a lot of people from piano comes back in this. Yeah. And dude, that was such a damn good series for me. I mean, holy shit. And she was really good in that. That is the show I always reference.
Right.
It's not when I reference Top of the League.
Right.
But anyway,
okay.
Elizabeth Moss is a damn good actress for the most part, and almost everyone is good in this. And then, well, 2 people from shows that we talked about last two episodes is in this.
Yeah.
You know, your girl from Orange Is the New Black.
Of course, Samira Wiley. Yeah, it's like whatever happened to Pussy was. Oh, I watched it.
Right.
Here she is.
And then your girl from The Leftovers, she's in this as well. That is Ann Dowd, I think.
Oh, that is the Ann Dowd. Okay. Like because like the character, Aunt Lydia, she plays Aunt Lydia. I'll talk about her as well too. So I didn't know that she was Ann Dowd. Okay.
That woman, she does know to play scary, older, middle-aged white woman in a show. But goddamn,
she was frightening in this show.
Yeah, because she was scary as fucking in The Leftovers, and she's scary as fucking this. Holy crap! She plays that character, that caricature, she's a great character actor in that way.
Right.
She was just so good in Leftovers. For me, I loved her in Leftovers, especially that second to last episode in season 3. Boy, she was scary as shit in that because she played a scary character in throughout the series. And when she comes back, you'll see what they do with that. Assuming you watch it.
Not yet, but I will. Don't worry.
Yeah. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, done yet.
You should take it in. Boy, she damn scary, but she was damn scary in that. And then as Aunt Lydia, holy crap, scary as shit as Aunt Lydia in LA. Because it's the idea of when you get into the whole how a social system like this is run, is that it's a patriarchy, and it's like it's a patriarchy, but women run that shit.
Yeah.
A lot of women make sure that stuff is maintained, and that part of it is really, really goddamn frightening.
Exactly.
And again, to make an analogy, I don't want to get too political as well, but yeah, a lot of that goes on in the Muslim world. A big part of it is that the only way that system is run is not because of men alone, is that it have a big concerted effort. It's in a sense a kind of to serve a feminist, not a feminist purpose, but a feminine power structure as well. To a certain extent, there's a hidden shell that needs to be destroyed now if you want to take down a system like this. And yeah, they do that. They illustrate that paradigm so goddamn well in this. Anyway, you wanna get through this series, run through the season for us, and tell us what it's about and why it's so goddamn possible and scary.
I'll do my best. So this is altered reality. It's some odd years into the future here, and pretty much it's about this government called Gilead, and it's like right on the edge of this civil war that's going on. So they are more or less ruling the country right now, and they are this Christian fundamentalist group, and
Yeah.
they just like just Old Testament Bible thumpers basically. That's the best way I could describe them. And pretty much they set up this society where women, or at least in this case fertile women, because in this alternate reality here, similar to a film that this series brilliantly references, Children of Men. Yeah, there's an issue of infertility that's going on here now. So
Right.
somehow Gilead winds up finding these fertile young women. They bring them
Yeah.
into this pretty much this upper class society. They're given all these rules, and if they don't abide by these rules, they could suffer torture or even worse, death. In this case,
Yeah.
their job is basically to give birth to the give birth for the men basically in this society here. And the story pretty much follows Elizabeth Moss's character, who plays Offred. So basically what happens is that if you're the person that you are assigned to, so let's just say the guy's maiden name is Red, so your name will be called Offred.
Fred.
And if it,
Fred.
sorry. Right,
Yeah,
off.
yeah.
So it's OF, sorry.
Of,
right, okay. I was
Yeah.
thinking OFF for some reason there.
No,
Right.
it's Fred.
Yeah. And throughout the entire show, we learn right off the bat that she was married before. She was married to this black man, and she had a child. And they were on the run from these soldiers, and basically their job is just to round up these women and bring them to this society here, basically. So we see how that turns out. And then later on in the show, we see what happens to her husband, and then also her friends. And we see, this is one thing I really like though, how we see like a before and after thing. So before we see how life was before, when she was with her friends. In this case, they start off focusing on Moira, who's played by Samira, and we see how their lives were before, and then we see how things had to change when the army steps in and then starts grabbing these women and all that kind of stuff, and just seeing them in this new society trying to deal with these things. And basically it's more like just these individuals forcing religion down their throat, basically telling them that this is what you have to do, this is what God says and all that kind of stuff. But deep down inside they know that it's wrong, but they're pretty much slaves right at this point in time. They really can't do anything about this.
Right.
And all through, just basically you're just seeing how Offred survives in this society, and how she tries her best to just to just basically looking for hope out there in this seemingly hopeless situation. And I'll just jump into my review here one time. So I keep saying hopeless here because, like, you see, Ricardo, you were lucky enough to watch a show every week, right? I had the privilege of binging all 10 episodes one at a time, and
apparently
my God, boy, this thing really, really, really hit me, boy. It hit me in my gut, it hit me in my heart.
Yeah.
This is a very depressing show, but I won't say it's a bad thing, though. Something like that needs to be really dismal and hopeless, and they would, like, it reminded me a lot like Silence, for example, where it forces the viewer to it puts the viewer in their shoes. It's like you as a viewer now wishing you could just put your hand out there in the screen and be like, stop this, don't do this. But you can't. You just have to sit back and watch these characters suffer, not just physically but mentally and emotionally, and just the things that these characters go through. One character in particular, I forgot her name. She was the one who had an eye removed, And
they do that. That was goddamn dark.
Yeah,
holy crap.
Right. So we see how the whole process works, where she where she has to have sex with this guy, and by the way, those scenes are like so
gross.
Not gross, just so
awkward,
weirdly awkward, boy.
Yeah.
Like the first time I saw it, I was kind of giggling, but the more I saw it, I was like, this
gross.
is just weird. This is just too weird to laugh at.
Yeah.
But and then of course she gives birth, and then what happens afterwards, boy? That just shut him away. That just
that was brutal.
Wow.
That was like, holy wait.
And when we say brutal, we just mean on an emotional level. This is where
total
this is where the show really hits your heart, boy. Just emotionally. But the performances throughout this are so strong. Somebody had to get an Emmy for this. Somebody. My pick hands down is Elizabeth Moss. Reason being, this is just a clever choice, just from just aesthetic in the series. because they
Yeah.
are handmaidens now, they aren't given the opportunity to have makeup on their face, so they look the way how they look without makeup, basically, right? So in that case, now in that regard, with her without makeup on her face, though, she is able to express,
Right.
fear and anger, and just the way how she does that, especially like
Yeah.
in one scene, pivotal scene in the final episode, her in the back of her car. That's all I would say, and just how
Yeah.
her facial features were, when she was just
Yeah.
letting loose and just being angry. Like I was like,
Right.
"Jeez, boy, this works so perfectly." You really do
they-
see the
they-
pain in their faces
Yeah.
and their heart,
Yeah, for me, is between her and Carrie Coon in Leftovers. As that's my two choices for Emmy. Like, is one of them had a get? Holy shit, right? Carrie Coon has been amazing for Leftovers, and then her for this. She'll probably get because she's kind of the bigger name anyway. But I'm not sure. But I kind of calling that now.
Yeah.
It's a trouble between her and Carrie Coon. Carrie Coon could get, but because Carrie Coon was damn good throughout Leftovers season 3.
Right.
But yeah, she could get too. And it's probably again. I want to if how political it is in terms of the relevance of it. It's in the current real political climate. But at the same time, you just think about it and you think it might be a bit hyperbolic. But for a lot of people, it might be the case. I mean, I can't put myself in that political circle. But at the same time, I kind of get how this could feed into the narrative now.
Yeah.
And the show would the show have been more popular if a certain election went another way?
Yeah.
Probably not.
Probably not. Yeah.
Probably
It
not.
might have
Right.
just been
Right.
great idea, but wrong timing. Sorry.
Right. But here's the thing, though. As I said, in terms of world building, and again, the series does a good job of building that again. I had an issue with the idea of this even happening. Now, the idea of a Christian theocracy happening in the United States is a bit of a stretch. For
Of
me.
course, considering because you have other religions involved, and that's one thing about the show.
No. Well, not just
they kind
not
of
just
avoid
that, but
showing,
No,
Muslims
okay.
and stuff.
No. Here's the thing. It's not just that, but it's the idea of it happening in a modern sense, and then the idea of it happening because of the internet. And that was a big debate I was having. I was having a big debate. Well, the internet would have undermined this from happening.
Right.
Like, how
right.
does it
I
shut
see
down
what you
the
mean.
internet in this way? Now, you could shut down the internet, and you could get into the logistics of how the internet exists in the real world and whatnot. But it is notoriously difficult to shut down the internet in North America. You could easily shut down the internet in any other part of the world, but North America, not so easy. And I'm not talking about just simple, I could shut down your ISP and something like that. No, we're talking about the actual internet and how the structure itself works.
Yeah,
You could
yeah.
easily create small networks and communicate. But when the show went on, and it's mostly the first and second episode I was kind of bitching about it, but when the show went on, and my complaint was, all of this should have happened in 1985 when the book was written,
True.
before the internet existed, and that would have make more sense, blah, blah, blah. Not necessarily. They do two things really, really well. One, they get into the aspect of how people are very aware of the situation and still can't do much about it because of a quote-unquote resource.
Yes.
And I was like, that make more sense, because they explain, well, this is not really a spoiler, but they explain that, America has an unusually high amount of fertile women. And you could understand why they would maintain such a system in the United States and not want to interfere, right? Which is a really good analogy to, say, Saudi Arabia, right? If you want to get into that geopolitical paradigm of it.
Uh-huh.
That made a lot of sense to me. So that made the world work a little better. And then, the fact is already an alternate reality anyway. Women could have children in the real world. They can't in this world. It's never explained necessarily how women can't have children. And
I would agree with you here, but they never really explained children of men either. It was just
Exactly.
this is how it is, but
exactly.
this
It
one
kinda
girl is
doesn't
the one
matter.
hope and blah 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 and all that stuff. Yeah.
Right. And book for book, it's kind of similar anyway, because it's just a decent enough system to cause societal collapse. Because it's not so much about the disaster happening, but the fact that you can't explain it.
Yeah.
You don't know why it happened. And because people didn't give any scientists a chance to try to figure out what was going on or how inefficient it is, that's the important part too, is that systems like this are not particularly efficient. It's just raw emotion and anger and rebellion. In that sense, that they take over the government and, it end up becoming super religious. That make a lot of sense too. So that to me, from a world building standpoint, that could happen. That actually make a lot of sense to me. Another thing they do well is that they get into the hypocrisy of the whole thing. Not only in the aspect of, it have cultures as speakeasies, in the sense of, life before the times. So you had the kind of jazz club kind of thing, which was great.
Yeah.
That was a pretty goddamn, kind of disturbing sequence as well. And then the fact that a lot of men are also barren as well. I like that.
Yeah.
And they didn't get to that whole aspect of, well, if you really want to be efficient and actually help, this religious system will never work, but they don't care about that because it's more about power rather than efficiency and trying to quote unquote help the world.
Yeah.
That I like.
And you
because
actually see
that totalitarian aspect of it now.
Yeah, and you see that through the character of Commander Fred. Well, Fred himself,
Yeah,
played by Joseph Fiennes, who I find was creepy in
Yeah,
this
creepy
way.
as
But
fuck it is.
creepy in
Holy
the sense
shit.
like you just don't know what this guy is up to. He normal,
No, but
he'll
you see,
talk with
what-
you good, but you don't
No,
know
no.
if he just gonna come behind you and stab you in your back. You're
Right.
not too sure.
But that's what make it so scary is that everybody have this sword having over their head. Is that this Damocles situation? now.
Yeah. I
You
hear
know, yeah, at any time could come down and slice you down. You had to keep aware that stop having fun, realize the fucking system you're in, and keep your head down now. Don't entertain it, don't embrace it, because it will destroy you when you get comfortable. That is how it's designed. And I like how they do the totalitarian aspect of it. They build the world much, much better than the book. The book is very sparse and just, kind of does the bare bones.
Mhm.
This does a lot better in terms of the world building. And I don't, it's not too much to talk about because I just want people to watch it because it's so good.
Right.
I'm going to give a rating just now, but you like talk.
I was just gonna say a couple of things though.
Yeah.
All right. So on the subject of Commander Fred, there's also his wife, played by Yvonne Strahovski,
yeah.
also from
Rakka.
Dexter. I haven't seen. Well, I
Right.
I remember her from Dexter actually.
Right, I know her
better
from
seasons.
I know her as Miranda Lawson from Mass Effect 2.
Oh really?
and-
She did voice actor for
She's the
them.
voice and model. She's the voice and acting the model as well.
Ah.
And I know her from I forget her character name, but she was from Chuck. Remember Chuck?
Yes.
Right. Her character, Yvonne Strahovski's character, is an interesting kind of. She acted really well in this.
Yes, she did.
So I didn't think she was
actually did
ever-
surprise me here.
Yeah, I don't think she was ever a particularly good actress. She's a hot chick, she's a hot chick, and in Mass Effect she was a kind of Bond girl, another hot chick role. But she played this role quite well of the idea of you're an attractive woman, but what happens if you stop not being able to have kids?
Yeah,
And that's a big problem.
And not just that, but wanting to be loved by her husband. And you
Right.
see a few
Yeah, this-
few moments of that too, with her, and I really love those moments as well too, because it shows that
Yeah.
she's not just this emotionally barren character, you know. 'Cause at first when
Yeah.
when he introduces like, well, you think she
Yeah,
just
she's
don't
cold.
care, cold-hearted to
Yeah.
offer it, but then when you understand what's going on
Right.
with her emotionally and physically, because she can't be a children, you understand, and I like
Right.
how it there's this balance with her character basically.
Right. And they get into systems of power. Yeah, they do a kind of love triangle thing. They get a system of power, and then they get into the aspect of, you're in a system that you're propping up, but the system going to bust your throat too. When she have all these great ideas, but you're a woman, fuck off.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's a big part of it, and I love that. They do some great world building in this, surprising, much better than expected. Oh, before we get to ratings, can we talk about how fucking well shot this shit is?
Yes. Oh my
Holy
goodness.
crap!
I was just
So
about to
this
mention though the aerial shots. There are some sweet looking aerial
Yeah.
shots in this series.
Yeah.
Oh my god, especially in the compound. Like those
Yes.
scenes, the first and last episodes came to mind. There are some exquisitely
Yeah.
gorgeous looking shots in this series.
Top down.
Yeah.
The top down look. There's the when the information when they're walking about.
Oof, that
uh,
formation though.
yeah.
That
Yeah,
like just to choreograph that, if you will, amazing.
Yeah. And then there's some of the internal scenes. I mean, and they do the washed out aesthetic look. Again,
Yes,
Zack Snyder,
yes.
take notes. This is how to do washed out look. It fit with the scenario really well.
Yeah.
You're ready again if you want to, you're doing mise en scène. Again, fancy French words.
Yes.
And you make it work. You get a sense of hopelessness.
Yes,
That's how you're supposed to do that shit.
Even right down
You
to like
make it
the
work.
lighting and all too. Like, there
Yes.
are moments where you will barely see that much lighting, and some will be really bright, but mostly that's when the guards, or the big individuals involved in this society, like case in point, most of like Aunt Lydia's scenes are lit, but not too bright, of
Yeah.
course, because
Yeah.
she is bringing that darkness into those scenes.
Yeah.
Just
And
those little, just the thought behind these visual decisions though, make this really really do work out.
Right, and they do I forget his name. The other guy who was having the affair with I forget the name. The fellow who's the driver now.
Nick. Nick. Yes,
Nick,
right.
right.
So
They do a good backstory with him as well of how he get into the whole situation as well.
yes.
They do some
actually
nice work
thought that
building with
they
him.
would have kind of expanded it a little bit more.
Right.
But for what we were given, it was pretty interesting because it kind of highlights, this is the beginnings of this group. This is where the Gilead
Yes, how
started
things
from
develop.
somehow.
Right.
Yeah.
And they have it make sense. Yeah, it makes sense in that sense. Now here's the thing: I don't know how long the show gonna go on, because a show that can't go on, in my opinion, it can't go on too long. The book is not that long, so I don't want to see them do any kind of big set of war bullshit or anything like that, because it ain't about that. But I'd like to see what they're gonna do with it, and it'll be interesting. As I say, when your real world politics kind of messing up your fiction, it'll be interesting where the writers go and do with this.
Yeah. And it's a good thing to bring up that, because Margaret Atwood is actually involved creatively in this series, which is great.
Oh, of course. Did you see her in the first episode?
No, she was who?
She has a cameo. So remember when I think it's the first episode when you're slapping them around, and it had a person slap her Frenchy face up close in the background. It had a woman that kind of weird frizzy kind of afro.
Yes.
She's one of the I think either the enforcers or the aunts in the background. I forget what she played.
I would assume she's probably an aunt. Yes, that's the name of the matriarchs, basically. Well, at least the ones who have to instruct the handmaids. They call them aunts.
Yeah, but there's a little scene with her where you see her slap Offred and she was in the background out of focus. That's her.
Oh, okay. I remember that. I was wondering, wait, because she was supposed to say, right, she was supposed to respond to something, and then all of a sudden she just gets slapped. Blah. I was like, wait, no, why did slap her?
Yeah, that's Margaret Atwood there.
Oh, okay.
She's there. She's there. There's a little quick cameo. It's a nice little funny cameo. It's like, okay, well done.
Yeah.
You know what to look for.
All right. Well, I'll just say this before we jump into ratings, though. If I have like just flaws, personally, I do find some of these episodes to be just a little bit long. And why I say that now, because the story itself is just so emotionally draining. It will kind of get on people's nerves, just the length of time these episodes run, because you're kind of wishing for something to happen. I don't mean like just story wise, but you're just hoping for some glimmer of hope, somebody to make some kind of action. And at the very end, you kind of do see that, but if you're expecting some kind of big lavish explosion based kind of thing, you're gonna be very disappointed here. It's not that. It's about the little tiny little moves that Offred has to make in freeing herself from this system. Personally, I just was expecting the ending to I was expecting her to do something a little bit bigger, but it's just a small little action. I was like, but still I kind of understand the context of the story, why, because you really do need to feel that sense of hopelessness, and this show does that so well. What I would say though, just if you do intend on watching, I really recommend that you do. Just go in knowing that this is going to tug at your heartstrings. This is gonna be a challenging show for you to watch too. If you like your series to be all happy and bright and sunshiny, this is not that type of show. But what really saves it though from what would prevent you, the viewer, from grabbing a gun and shooting yourself in the head is the strong performances, the characters, the well fleshed out characters, the dialogue, just the way how these episodes are written and how they're constructed, and just from a visual perspective. I mean, as depressing as this show is, this is a very gorgeous looking series. Probably one of the best looking shows I've seen this year, hands down. I'm not too excited to see season 2, just because I had to binge this whole thing, and I just came out of it really feeling bad about myself. I just felt bad about being a man temporarily, but still, this was a very solid season, and I hope personally that they don't stretch this thing out too long before people just kind of write it off one time. But I just expected maybe 2 more seasons, just like leftovers, and just end it right in, end it off.
I really hope. It's a show that if they make the mistake, they could be, if they're not careful, it can overstay its welcome in a sense. Here's the thing. So before I give my rating, there's one little thing I just want to talk about before we go with this, is that they do one big change, and I got why they changed it. So in the book, the system of Gilead is fundamentally white supremacist. So there is no black. There are no black people to speak of, and when it goes back to that old biblical sons of Ham nonsense, no.
Right.
That's where they pulled that from. So you don't really have that many black people. I think black people are I think it have pockets of the United States that have black people in it, but it's really small, and they're not intermingled like how the show has it, where you're seeing black soldiers and black troopers and whatever it is, and police officers. You're not seeing it. Don't have that in the world. It's all white, very white supremacists. And in United States history, there have a lot of overlap between what you call dominionist movements and white supremacy anyway. So that made a lot of sense when she wrote it. Like, you totally understand why that would be. But I get why in this show they made that change and didn't make it a thing in this one. You just kind of get rid of that aspect because it probably complicate the story and the message of it. You know, it's to keep on focus of what they want to tell. So that was, I think, in my opinion, that was a smart change.
Right.
And I would have made probably roughly a similar change if I was in charge of this. I get why they did that. But that's about it. Yeah, for me, this first season was pretty goddamn high. I give it a 9 out of 10. Again, a couple of nitpicky issues here or there, but they for the most part did it right. And yeah, this was excellent for me. Emmys, it might win some Emmys. This is some Emmys. I could see it winning some Emmys.
All right. Well, for me, I really had to wrestle with my rating here because
yeah,
I wouldn't say that I walked out of it saying, yes, I love this show. You know what I mean? I came out of it feeling the way how the show wanted me to feel. I felt bad. I felt angry. I felt like I just wanted to do something about it, but I couldn't, you know. That's the same way how I felt with Silence, you know. That's that same feeling that I got, you know. And I'm glad that something like this, you know, somebody actually decided to take the risk to actually tell a story like this in this day and age, you know what I mean? Something that will challenge viewers and not just, oh, well, you're just watching the show because it's popular and it's fun and everybody talking about it. It's something to really challenge you, you know what I mean? So with that being said, I will give this a decent 4 to 5 stars. It is worth checking, definitely worth checking out if you do get a chance.
Yeah.
Just go in knowing that this is not going to be happiness and joy and, you know,
right.
love conquers all and all that kind of stuff. It's not that type of story. But, you know, if you could stomach it, if you just go in knowing what to expect, then you will come out being... You might feel angry like I did, but, you know, if you go into this expecting to be... expecting like an emotional impact, then you're going to get definitely with this one. I do see this one being on a number of top 10 lists for sure. Emmys, I would love it to win at least. You know, I wanted to win a couple of Emmys, especially for Elizabeth Moss, who I thought really killed it. And yes, Anne Doyle as well too. So now I really want to see Leftovers and see just how bad her character was, if it was like similarly or whatnot. But apart from that though, yeah, Handmaid's Tale season 1 knocked the win out of me emotionally, but I still would recommend this in a heartbeat. Right, so now we could get into movies, but in this case we only have 2 to talk about. The first one being the much anticipated biopic of, you know, legendary West Coast rapper Tupac Shakur. Of course, I'm talking about All Eyez On Me. Ricardo didn't get around to seeing it, but I did, so I will share my thoughts on that. But you managed to see the hopefully first entry in Universal's quote-unquote dark universe called The Mummy. I would just say this, just first of all, I was kind of keen on seeing it at a point in time, and then those reviews came in, I was just like, yo, I don't know. Maybe I should just take a little breather from that one. I really don't know. But you think we should just jump in The Mummy or just do the All Eyez?
I don't really. Well, Mummy going to be the more interesting discussion, not for the film itself. Film is kind of bullshit, but what it means, what the film means, and why it was made the way it was.
All right.
You know, we can now this conversation not going to be that interesting because I think a lot of people already had it. So that's why I'm not sure what you want to talk about first. But I suppose you could go to Tupac first.
Yeah. Let's jump into All Eyez On Me, right?
Right.
So
okay. So here's the thing, Matthew.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me before we start. So there apparently people fucking up the movie on the internet, and there's a meme spreading, like, I don't know if it's spreading false facts about the movie, but the movie has a lot of anachronisms in it. And quick question, was there an iPhone in this movie, Matthew?
I did not pick up on an iPhone.
Okay.
I did not see any iPhone. Maybe that person needs to mention the scene it was in. I remember somebody answering a cell phone, and it was like in 94, but you know, whatever. I was expecting those big phones, but whatever. But the point is, I did not pick up on any iPhone. Because
people was kind of trashing and dogging and trolling the movie by saying, now, I don't know what was the purpose of this, but basically it's an internet meme by saying, well, they're making fun of 2 things. They're making fun of the idea of, it has some, apparently there are anachronisms in the movie, in terms of like which characters dressed in a certain way or something like that. But somebody made the joke, well, it had an iPhone 7 in the movie, you know, because of the crowd, and then everybody started making other jokes like, you know, Tupac asked a girl to be on Instagram, and how how Tupac and Biggie had a hoverboard race, and the joke is just making fun of anachronisms. But because the movie so soon, it had too many people outside of the joke now, so it just come across more like cinema sins kind of dishonesty more than anything.
Right.
I don't know.
But this just have to do with that Tupac not the, oh gosh, the hologram thing. Is it
No.
some related to
No,
that?
no, not
Okay.
that. It's not that. It's just I think the movie makes some actual mistakes with anachronisms, and it was understandable mistakes, but then people take it and blow it out of proportion in jest. No? That's what I think happened.
Okay. Now I understand. All right.
Right. Whatever. But you might see the internet meme show up. You'll see like something like it had an iPhone 7 in it, and somebody had Kanye West. How? You'll see it on Facebook. You look it up, you might find it on Twitter. I saw it. I saw a few pictures come out now, and I was like, oh, the movie really have smartphones in it. I was like, apparently not. But
Oh Lord.
so anyway,
All right.
yeah, I heard it's really bad. I heard it's a mess. I heard it's as bad as that Notorious movie.
All right, so good thing that you start off with Notorious, right? Because this is the perfect show to really, compare and contrast, right? In more ways than
Right.
one. I'll get to that in a bit. So I will confess. All right, before I even get into to movies now, if you were to ask me who's the best dead rapper alive, yeah, no, I just said that. If I had to choose between Tupac and Biggie, I would easily
Right.
pick Biggie.
Yeah, me too.
Better storyteller, grittier,
Yeah.
harder, but there is no denying how powerful in terms of just emotional impact Tupac was. There's no denying that. Tupac touched hearts in ways that not even Biggie could do that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Nobody. I mean,
Yeah.
Tupac is so influential in that regard.
Right.
And one thing I would kind of from hearing his music a lot though, because yes, I am a fan of Tupac. Don't get tired of the whole Biggie thing. Is how he touches on certain topics that just become kind of repetitive, like when you hear it in certain songs, but it's just that life now. It's just that life, and just the mere fact
Right.
that it may not change for the better at all. So he would always
Right,
talk
right.
about jail and the penitentiary and debt and crime and all these kind of things, and they tend to show
Right.
up in a majority of his songs. And it's easy for somebody to be like, well, he just repetitive, he just repeated the same themes over and over and over. But he's really showing that this is the reality, this is how things are, this is what he has to wake up to and experience when he was alive, of course, every day. And this is what people have to deal with every day. And that's to me is how he was able to really reach out to a lot of people. You know what I mean? It wasn't just one specific topic. It's just this is what happens every day. We don't understand why, but this is how it is. But yeah, Tupac for me is one of my, is easily one of the best West Coast rappers out there. What he managed to do in his life, because yes, he did pass away at age 25. The
Yeah.
albums that he put out, and I'll talk about those albums in a little bit too. The music, just what he managed to do is just really amazing. I still say my two favorite albums from him would be Me Against the World, which I still think is his best album ever. And second best will
Right.
go to All Eyes On Me, which was, of course, the first double, I think it's the first double album ever released by a rapper. Yes, Biggie would do it again. Biggie would do something similar, of course, with Life After Death, which I reviewed in a recent episode. But here, just what he managed to do in that space of time that he was alive is just amazing. And going into something like All Eyes On Me, just anybody going into this movie would expect to see that greatness manifested on screen. So now we'll get into Notorious, right? The movie which came out in 2009. I will confess,
Right.
I actually liked that movie. I really
Okay.
enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really
Oh,
decent.
really? Right.
It's not the best biopic in the world, and yes, I wish that it could have done the Notorious B.I.G. more justice, not just in the casting as well, but just with the the actors that they got to play certain certain figures in the movie. Case in point, Anthony Mackie playing Tupac.
Yeah.
I mean, they had me up to Anthony Mackie playing Tupac. Like, I know he played Papa
Yeah.
Doc in 8 Mile, but
Right.
that was 8 Mile. He was playing a
Right.
fictional battle rapper. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? But I still enjoyed Notorious, mainly because I'm a huge fan of Biggie, and just the way how they told the story was really vibrant. It was really, it was just really energetic and just really captured that time and really captured who he was, at least from what I picked up
Yeah.
from his songs. Um, and I know that there was some controversies, of course, real life people not liking how they were portrayed, and I'll get to that with All Eyes on Me here. Case in point, Lil Kim. I
Okay.
believe that the real Lil Kim was dissatisfied by the way how she was portrayed in this one. Like basically, she was like the sex fiend, basically trying to get into, try to get into Biggie's drawers, literally, like all that kind of thing. I'm not sure, but that's
This
the
is
way.
this isn't
This is
this
Notorious. I'm
isn't
talking
this
about.
movie, yeah? In All Eyes on Me?
No, I'm talking about Notorious. I'll get to All Eyes on Me
Notorious, right?
here.
Okay. Right.
Um, but overall, I still enjoyed Notorious. I still appreciated the effort. I know that there are people out there, and I know hearing that you don't like this movie at all. But I know that there are people out there that don't like the show that much. You know what I mean? But I still appreciate it for what it did.
Right. I don't remember hating Notorious all that much, but a lot of it didn't work. And as a biopic, it just kind of fell flat. I mean, in many ways, I kind of thought 50 Cent's biopic was kind of better. I mean, and that said something.
Oh gosh, Get Rich or Die Trying.
Yeah, and I was like,
That
yeah,
was,
but
was
so
one
that
that I saw a
you
couple
would
of times.
you would
I
have
just threw it away. I was just like,
Yeah.
really? Nah. I want to be a gangster, Grandpa.
yeah,
I just can't get over that scene though. I think
Yeah.
the reason why I didn't care for it is that you got 50 to play himself. Maybe if
Right.
you got somebody else to do it, I would have cared. But because you had to have him act out the role, it doesn't work for me. And then you had this
right. It
whole
was a little, no, it was a
crime
little too, it was a
gangster
little too self.
subplot thing going on with oh gosh, with Bill Nunn. Sorry, not Bill Nunn.
Right. Yeah, it'll come to
Bill
us.
Duke.
My
Bill
brain-
Duke. Bill Duke. Yes.
Bill Duke. Yeah,
him
yeah.
being this
Bill
mafia
Nunn.
guy, like I'm God, Buddha, and
Yeah.
Krishna.
But he was good
all
at it.
rolled up in one nigga, man. But yeah, he
Yeah.
was good. He was good. And then you had
Yeah.
Killer Croc being the
Yeah.
angry upstart. I was like, yeah, this is like some cliche gangster stuff. Like I don't need that. I mean, come on, But the Taurus, I actually find was better than Get Rich or Die Trying, at least in my opinion.
Okay.
And
Right.
then
No, it's not that. It's not that. Is the nature of the project like again? Is a mess, eh? You get rid of Die Trying, but Notorious was like they could have do so much more given his Biggie. 50 Cent is a nobody, so it's like in the grand scheme now. So I was
would
like,
say
all
he's
right.
a newcomer. Like remember around that
Yeah.
time he was big like
He was
what,
huge.
2003. So I think the movie came out
Yeah,
like
but, like-
2005. I think. Yeah.
Right, and I was like, yeah, you know, at the time it's like, yeah, but in the grander scheme, I don't really know you. Like, it's just okay. Young people kind of like your album. Your first album was good, but like to get a movie, that's bullshit.
Exactly. And it
Right.
is a
Oh.
passion project. But anyway, and then
Right.
but
Right.
right, and then we had Straight Outta Compton, which blew a lot of people away.
Right.
You know,
Yeah, it
because
was
there was a
excellent.
biopic that actually worked. Now,
Yeah.
it's easy to go into flaws and say, well, Dr. Dre doesn't really look like that. He doesn't really
No.
sound like that. Although, yes, great casting on Ice Cube and, Eazy-E and all that kind of stuff. But
Yeah.
Dr. Dre doesn't look like that. He's supposed to be bald.
Yeah, that's fine.
But, performances were great. The story, how it was told, was excellent. And that's how they managed to actually tell a legit narrative, even though it's within the context of a biopic,
Right.
And how it really reminded us of how influential NWA was, and how they impacted music forever, not just rap music, but just music in general. And for me, just seeing this thing, I was like, well, yes. And I remember we made that joke when we actually reviewed the film. It's like, yes, the West Coast hip hop cinematic universe is about to, it should be expanding now, because we need a Tupac movie. Because
Right.
remember there was that one shot with that one guy in the booth who was singing Hail Mary. It was like, yes, this guy
Right.
looking like him. Is like, well, close to him actually. It's like, yeah, why you don't do that? Because it's Tupac. So surprise, we got the word like a couple of trailers came out. It was like, oh my goodness, we actually getting this movie is real. And
Right.
I was kind of hoping personally that they would have kind of casted the same people from before, like
Yeah.
Suge Knight and thing.
And continue the universe. yeah.
Continue the universe, kind of expand it a bit. But I'm really glad that they actually chose to do their own thing. They didn't piggyback off of Universal's, or I forget the studio that brought out Fox Searchlight, who did Notorious. They wouldn't piggyback in off of them so much. But they would, they wanted to do their own thing. But you see, what started to worry me is that the first trailer of it, I believe, came out on the day of Tupac's birthday, which was June 16th,
Right.
which was around the time when this movie here was released this year. We saw the trailer
Right.
for it, we were blown away. It was like, oh my god, this is real. But we were expecting this movie to come out, say, September or October, something like
Right.
that. And then we heard stuff like, well, no,
Push
push
it
it back. And,
Yeah.
those usually are bad signs. You're
sign.
wondering why exactly. You're wondering if it's coming time of his death. Like, I don't know, like, shipping me actually thinking it was supposed to come out around the time when he died, really in September. But no, we actually got it just literally a few days ago. So, let me just
Right.
jump into the movie one time without me rambling on for so much. So yes, as you would expect from a biopic about Tupac, it is a biopic about Tupac. We see we see his mother played by Denai Guerrera,
Then I agree, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
Walking Dead. Yes. We see her in her early days as a Black Panther, and of course when
Yeah.
she went to jail, and she was pregnant with Tupac at the time, and is when she
The Black
came,
Panthers and Black Panther.
yes, yes, and it's
Yeah.
when she came out of jail is when she actually gave birth to Tupac. So just
Right.
make that just keep that in mind. Also, but without without reading a Wikipedia page, basically how the film is structured, it's like it starts off with him being in jail back in '95, and that was when he was arrested on account of this rape charge that he had to deal with, and that was right after that rape case actually happened around the time when he got shot. The
Right.
whole controversial thing where he thought it was Biggie and his crew did it. At the ground at the lobby of this recording studio. All that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. So we see him in jail, and this guy comes in and interviews him. And through the interviews here, we get to see glimpses of his early life. We see his come up in terms of the rap game. We see where he used to be this dancer for Digital Underground, Kids Ask Your Parents, right? So he was one of the
Right.
guys in the background who used to dance, right? So he used to do the Humpty dance in the background while
Yeah.
Shock G, that was his name, was singing his song. And yeah, that song still knocks to this day.
Yeah.
And yes, we do see where Shock G himself gives Tupac a chance to rap, and that's where they collaborated on the same song, which is still a great song. And they actually do recreate a scene in the video where Tupac is rapping here. And from
Right.
there, he gets studio time. He gets to put out his first album, Tupacalypse Now, in 1991. We see him doing his start of his acting career in Juice, which still is probably one of the best hip hop movies ever made. And yes, in terms
Yeah.
of performances, yes, Tupac kills it. Probably
Yeah.
probably the best role I've ever saw him in. And on the subject of that, believe it or not, I believe he starred in 7 films. I've only seen
That was with Janet Jackson, right?
no, Juice was with Omar Epps. That was where it was him and his
Okay.
friends, and they find a gun, and Tupac was playing the character Bishop, and Bishop was like this real erratic kind of psycho kind of character, and he had a gun, and he was like shooting his friends down and stuff like that. So he was just that hood fella who just kind of went off the rails basically. But because of the
Nice,
intensity in his role, is that what really make him stand out. But the next show
the
that he
movie-
was in was Poetic
Poetic
Justice,
Justice.
which
Right,
is
that was what I was
directed by John Singleton, right?
Yeah.
And what I mean, I saw it a couple times. I like it. I don't really love it that much. I didn't really find that it's still to me, story wise. I mean, it's just basically like
Right.
not so much a coming of age story, but just falling in love basically in the hood. That's basically what it's about. And the last show that I saw him in was Above the Rim.
Right.
Yeah, which gave us that excellent timeless song, Regulate, featuring Warren G and Neat Dogg. Timeless song right there. But apart from that, I haven't seen Gridlocked, I haven't seen Gang Related, and I think there's 2 other films where the titles escape me. But essentially, I haven't seen those 4. But the point is, we do see they actually recreate the a pivotal scene in Juice, where he's talking down to one of his friends and all that kind of stuff. It's a famous scene, and I like how they actually recreate that. So we seeing all this kind of stuff and thing, and then we stop off at 95 now, and we see the what led him to jail in the first place, and then the second half of the film pretty much starts off with him leaving jail,
Right.
and then being signed on to Death Row Records. So yes, we do see Suge Knight, and once again,
Yeah.
Suge Knight is played. Well, not the same guy who plays it, but once again, he's like this. He reminds me a lot of Al Capone, but more like Robert De Niro's depiction of him from The Untouchables. There's even a dinner scene, like a dinner table scene, reminiscent
Right.
of The Untouchables. And if you remember that scene with Robert De Niro pacing around the table, then you pretty much
Yeah.
will know what to expect in that scene. They really do that scene, but they just kind of twist it around a little bit. But yes, once again, yes, but once again, Suge Knight, the evil Suge Knight, the evil bad guy, the one that you don't cross, or else you just pull in a corner and just beat the crap out here. Once again, like I don't know, I just wondering, like a guy like Suge Knight, who is still alive by the way, watching him being
Yeah.
depicted twice on screen as
You know?
these villainous as a villainous character. I wonder how he feels like that, but like I don't think he regrets it. It's like, jeez, boy, so all they gonna paint, so every movie just gonna paint him as a bad guy, Jared? Like really?
Right.
I'm a gangster, or whatever. But anyway,
Right. Yeah.
so right, so pretty much his life story is shown on screen. So yes, it does end with him being shot at, that drive-by thing. Right, so I'll just jump into the review here one time, right? So just right off the bat, I'll just see this one time. I didn't hate the film, but I actually enjoyed it way more than I expected. But my God, this movie could have been so much better. And the
Yeah.
reason being is because of the central character, Tupac Shakur. Just the influence that this guy had, and you would think that this movie would have done him so much justice, and not so much really, unfortunately. So I'll just jump in first off to songs, right? Because yes, you do hear some of his songs in this movie here, obviously, right? Now, the thing is with his music, right? There's this duality to him, right? And that's fine with artists, but especially with him, there's always this dual side to him. So on the one hand, you would always get like these sort of, I don't want to say motivational songs, but there's these songs that just hit you emotionally, whether it's politically charged or whether it's emotionally charged or just stuff to make you think. But then at the same time, you'll get, thug life, you'll get those kind of gangster songs, you'll get those, thug passion songs, you'll get like, the bitches and hoes and all that kind of stuff. You'll get that side basically. You'll get that thug side that, the media so wanted to latch onto, and you do see this in the film. But then you'll get the side where he was aware of what was going on in the community and he was aware of making a change. And I felt that the song choices really could have shown that duality. It started off pretty well enough where you saw him recording Brenda's Got a Baby, which
Right.
was from off of his first album, and still remains to me one of the most depressing rap songs ever. Because I mean, it is about this 12-year-old girl who gets raped by her cousin, and then she has the baby, and then instead of aborting the child, she gives birth to the child in the bathroom floor, and then she throws the child in a dumpster. It's a really
Yeah.
sad story though, but the way how in the movie itself, because there's a scene where he goes to Interscope Records and he's talking to the managers, and them is like, well, yeah, we want to put out your album, but we want to lose this song here. And then he goes into detail about, well, this is stuff going on in the hood every day, but you don't hear about it, and this is why the song needs to be here, and nobody talking about this kind of stuff. And that's true, and nobody at that time really went into like detail talking about such a graphic topic, basically, on record. And that was a single. Imagine that was a single.
Yeah.
Right, one of his biggest singles. Really what launched him there, launched him into the spotlight, right? But at the same time, on the album itself, on Tupacalypse Now, there was also a song called Trapped, and that was where he was talking about, being chased by the police and being arrested and always having to deal with them, beating them up and stuff like that. Now, he didn't go through it at the time, right? It's only afterwards where he got arrested for jaywalking. And we do see this scene play out in brutal detail where he did walk, and then two white policemen saw him, and yeah, they beat him down, like literally did beat him down, really brutal. But the point I'm getting at here with with a song like Trapped, which is more like political, okay, in the chorus is like they can't take the black man down, it's like a rise to power, and because you set up the film in such a way where yes, your mother was a Black Panther, and she periodically tells Tupac, you have a target on your back, man, the white man wants to get you, and that kind of stuff now.
Right.
And on the subject of that, by the way, like, yes, Denai, she's great in this film, She really brings in a lot of energy, and then she really does, put herself out there in terms of playing this character. Um, but there are some lines which kind of came off a little cheesy to me. Once again with the whole black rights thing there, so she always comes off like, yes, everything I speak is about black pride and all that kind of stuff. It's like, all right, we understand you're a Black Panther, but realistically, that doesn't mean that you have to just spit these lines, these words of wisdom all the time. You know what I mean? It kind of comes off like a caricature in a way. But anyway, I'll talk about that later on. So right. So with the musical choices, I felt that you could have had trap there because yes, of course, there's a Tupac that we know from I Get Around and California Love and those songs. You know,
Yeah.
those are the ones that the media will latch on to. For like, case in point, I Get Around. They were touching about the fact that why you have this music video with a bunch of girls, in bathing suits and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then at the same time you'll flip it and say, keep your head up, ladies. And I like how they show that duality there. But once again, because you want to present, Tupac as being this character, as this militant character who is willing to make, kind of spark people to just rise up and just do stuff. You know what I mean? You could have had those politically charged songs. You could have had Trap. You could have had Holla If You Hear Me from the second album. You could have had those songs instead of just, oh, well, these are the greatest hits. Those are the big songs. It's almost like you were afraid to show like this guy could have actually have been a revolutionary, and he was in a sense. You know what I mean? But you kind of lose all the revolutionary songs, and to me that was a shame because you set up his mother, the character, being this revolutionary, and her having to deal with the white police and thing all the time, and then of course
Yeah.
with Pac going through his stuff with with the media and with the cops and all that kind of stuff. But you don't get the sense of, hey, I am trying to change my community. I'm trying to change the world here, and this song may help or may not help, but this is what I have to say. It was just more about the California Loves and the I Get Arounds, and I mean, yes, they are great songs. Yes, they are timeless, but they don't really say anything with regards to Tupac being this revolutionary, and that's the thing. That's what people really remember about him. Just his music being so impactful to people. Regardless of race. But you don't really get that here, unfortunately. But all that aside, though, acting I thought was decent for the most part. I thought that Demetrius Shipp Jr., who plays Tupac, this is his debut performance, by the way. I thought that he was great as Tupac. I mean, the guy literally does look like him
Yeah.
throughout the majority of the film. And he does speak like him, and he does have that tone, that voice, and all that. There are a couple of times where it kind of slips up a little bit, but for the most part, he has it down. And on the subject of that, there is a guy in this show, legit, swear to God, who sounds eerily close to Snoop Dogg.
Okay.
And yes, he does play Snoop Dogg. If you look at him, he doesn't look like Snoop Dogg. Yes,
Yeah.
they have him with the afro, they have him with the braids, but when that guy speaks straight, it's like you swear that they dub over this guy's voice. Like you swear Snoop Dogg just came in for a day and just dub over his voice. It's so eerie. But when he was there, I was like, jeez, what this is Snoop? Like this is like the best imitation of Snoop I ever heard. Like ever. You know what I mean? Eerie Spears from Mad TV, dude. I thought he was
Eunice?
no. I thought he had the Snoop Dogg. I thought he was the only person out
Oh,
there
okay,
that had the
right,
Snoop
okay,
Dogg voice
right.
perfectly, but no, he didn't. On the subject of people that I didn't expect to see in this show, for one thing, Lauren Cohan, Maggie from Walking Dead, she's in this. She makes this
Okay.
brief, unnecessarily brief, by the way, appearance as Tupac's mentor. Because yes, for those who don't know, when he was studying at the Baltimore School for the Arts, he learned a lot. He learned about theater, he learned about Shakespeare and all that kind of stuff. And when he moved to Oakland, you're right, there was this one person that was there, and she was the one who kind of got him on board with Digital Underground in the first place, right? But she's like in the film for like about a minute, like just literally for like about a minute. And this goes into one main problem about the show, but I'll get to that in a bit. Another person that I didn't expect to see in this show, believe it or not, Jamal Willard, the same guy who played Notorious B.I.G. in Notorious, shows back up in this movie.
Okay.
I was
Okay,
like,
okay.
wow, Jay, they really do this. They really connecting the dots here. They really connecting
Right.
the narratives here. And to me, it works because here in this movie, you really see another side of the East Coast West Coast feud. You know, in Notorious, you saw it from New York side, but here you saw it more from Tupac's side and what he was dealing with. You didn't see too much of it though. Fortunately, I'm glad that he didn't spend chunks of time talking about how bad the feud was, but it's just really like him at jail and hearing, you know, that song "Who Shot You," and then of course him misinterpreted as this direct diss at Tupac, and then of course he came out with probably, in my opinion, the harshest diss song ever. Hit him up, you know.
Right.
So they only touch on those things for a short while, but not too long really, because it's not about East Coast West Coast anyway. It's just really about Tupac and what he was going through. But yeah, he's in this show as well. A couple more, like, you know. Oh yes, I forgot to mention. Um, Jada Pinkett is in this movie. Not the
Right, I
real
know that,
Jada
yeah.
Pinkett, but a well actress. Her name is Kat Graham, plays Jada Pinkett. And we see her, you know, from where. Well, this is real life actually, where they did meet at Baltimore, at that Baltimore School for the Arts, and you do see their friendship together and stuff. They do meet up periodically in the film, when
Yeah.
you know, when Jada is doing her acting gig. You know, she started off with Men's Society, um, which by the way was directed by the Hughes brothers, and Tupac was supposed to be in that film, but because he had this huge falling out with them, and yeah, he fought, like he beat them up literally. So and
Okay.
then went up on Yo MTV Raps and bragged about it on live television, like, yeah, I
Wow.
beat up those guys, Red. And then they used that in the court trials, like, yeah, he was on
Right. Yeah.
TV doing that now, you know what I mean? Cause yeah, Tupac
Yeah.
had a big
Top.
mouth now. He wasn't afraid to see what's on his mind, but you know, unfortunately, those things used to come back
Yeah.
and bite him. You know, I wish that the film
Right.
kind of
Yeah.
touched on that, but you know, they kind of hinted it. But anyway, Jida was there, and then it's only after I saw the show that I saw this news report on the Hollywood Reporter where Jada was like dissatisfied by how she was portrayed in the film. You know, because
Okay.
basically what you were seeing is that those moments with her did not happen. So
Oh
like this
shit.
one scene where
Um.
Tupac was leaving Baltimore to go to Oakland, and
Right.
he gives her this poem named titled Jada. Jada Pinkett, the real one, says, "No, that didn't happen."
Oh
And then
shit.
there's a scene
Wow.
where it was right after Tupac performed at the House of Blues, a very famous performance where he did Hit 'Em Up and Hail Mary and all that kind of stuff. And the after party, you know, a bunch of girls and stuff. And then Jada comes in and saying, well, you know, I thought you were supposed to be this revolutionary. I thought you were supposed to be making change. You know, what are you doing singing about all this stuff and talking about you screwed Biggie's wife and all that kind of stuff? What kind of stuff is that, you know? I mean, it's a powerful scene, but at the same time, you know, now to hear, no, that didn't happen. You know, it
Right.
really kind of brings down the movie quite a lot, unfortunately for me. Because I'm not expecting that everything that I see in this movie is supposed to be real, but I'm expecting the majority of it was inspired by real life events. So I'm not saying that Jada went to that very, you know, party, but maybe she did confront him at some point in time and call him out on it. I don't know, but you know, it's just kind of messed up to see now or to hear that no, it didn't happen, and you know what I mean? Because you would think because you have Jada Pinkett's, you know, her as a character in this movie, you'd assume the real Jada had some part to play in the story. Like they went up to her, they interviewed her, blah blah blah, and I don't know if they did that, but apparently, like I said before, what was shown in this movie here did not happen. You know, it's just a fabrication of real events, which is so
Wow.
unfortunate. You know. I'm feeling bad for Jada though, like the real Jada. I mean, she was saying, you know, props to Demetrius and Kat for their performances. 'Cause I thought they were great on screen, but you know, I really do feel bad that Jada, you know, was offended by this. You know, but all that aside though, but to me, the biggest flaw in this movie is just the narrative, the way how the story was told. Now, I get that you want to use, like at first I thought the whole interview thing was just the narrative structure that they're gonna use. That there's just all gonna be, you know, just like how those Tupac those interviews are basically, you know, which by the way most of those were used for the excellent documentary Tupac Resurrection, which I strongly recommend you check out. And by the way, if you have seen that show, then you pretty much would know how the narrative of this movie here plays out. Okay, plays out exactly
Right.
how that documentary was. You see where he was born and his come up and all that other stuff, right? But you know, the first half, well, I should say the first 15 to 20 minutes were very, very spotty. And I would say that in terms of editing. there are moments that just happen so fast. Like, okay, 1 minute he meets this person, and then you'll just cut to the next scene, and then you'll cut to the next scene, and it feels almost like you're rushing this film down to get to the real meat and potatoes. I mean, this film clocks in at 2 hours and 20 minutes. So just the mere fact that they rush the first 15 and 20 minutes just to jump to oh well, he brought out his second album, you know. So
Right.
pretty much they just rush everything. It's just like, oh, this is where he was born, this is what happened, and this is the type of people they met on the streets, and you know, it's all these stuff that taking place, and you wish that they could kind of develop them further, but it's not. It's just there, showing you there, but it just kind of glimpses over, you know, these things which pretty much influence Tupac's life. And you know, with a film like, say, Straight Outta Compton, which took its time to develop certain things. So, case in point, the scene where the ghetto blaster, whatever you call it, you know, that big tank with the thing that was like busting through doors and stuff,
Right.
and Easy E was trying to escape. You see, like how that developed into their hatred for the police, and you saw it develop further and further to the point where they went into the studio and performed F the Police threat. You know what I mean? You saw it build up, but in here it's just like, all right, I've been born into poverty. I see white cops doing this, beating up on black people. There's drug dealers. There's people stabbing people up right outside my door. But you just see it in glimpses, basically. They just show it, but they don't really develop on these little narrative threads. And they're just there, basically, to just say, oh, this is just how messed up the hood is. But how did that influence his music? You're not really sure. You don't really show that. So,
Right.
to the untrained eye, to someone who never heard Tupac's music before, you just come out of it like, well, yeah, I just saw this thing about Tupac, but I didn't really understand him so much. Like, I saw the way how he acted, you know. At times he was irrational, sometimes he was reckless, but you know, he would have a soft heart, and you know, he would be kind and stuff. But how did his upbringing, how did these things that happened to him in his life influence his music? How did that happen? You saw it in Notorious. At some point
Right.
in time, you saw it there. You saw it in Straight Outta Compton excellently, but here you just see it in like these little short glimpses, basically. And I wish that they could have, and you know, it was right there in the music. Like I said, you want to present Tupac as being like a revolutionary, you know, but you don't have his revolutionary songs. You want to show that yes, he likes the woman, but at the same time, he would call out bitches for being bitches, all that kind of stuff. And you do see that
Right.
in, you know, with the whole rape case. You see how it unfolded and all that kind of stuff. Um, and that's the next thing too. It really touches on like these events that the media kind of blew out of proportion. You know, that rape charge, the shooting that took place where he got shot 5 times, this whole thing with death row and all that kind of stuff. So yes, I get that you do want to show this character as being flawed. That yes, he made a lot of mistakes as well too. But you know, he is influential for a reason. I mean, at the end of the day, he's a human being. Like, I'm not gonna go into any of Tupac's albums and say yes, he is truthful and he's righteous and everything that he does is, you know, is holy and all that kind of stuff. There are flaws
Right.
to him. You get that. He's a human being, but also show the good in him. Show why he was so influential in the first place. Don't just show it off of record sales and you know him signing to Death Row and him, you know, with platinum records and all that. That's fine. That's in the surface. But what about, you know, the lyrics themselves? What really made him stand out? What really makes him so influential to this very day? And I felt that the film really didn't show that. It was just like, okay, these are the events that happened. This is what happened leading up to his death. The end. But not
Right.
about the influence, not what was left behind really. So yeah, really the narrative is the biggest flaw here. I really wish that it could have been just the writers themselves could have taken more time to really develop the narrative, and you got it so great already with Straight Outta Compton. Look what they managed to do. It wasn't just about in 1990 this happened, in 1991 this happened, 1992 this happened. There were narrative threads that were going on throughout the entirety of the show. It was about the friendship between the group. It was about how, you know, money and, you know, the record studios and all that could get in the way of that friendship. It was about the cops and, you know, how people thought about the cops at the time. And then with the whole Rodney King thing, and then of course with the riots that took place in 92. And remember that great shot where the Crips and the Bloods united together? That
Yeah.
powerful scene, you know?
Straight Outta Compton, yeah.
Yeah, and just those things. And even when they went into Death Row territory with you know, with Suge Knight and stuff, you did see how Dre's involvement with Death Row affected the relationship between, you know, Easy E and, you know, and Ice Cube. You saw that. Here once again, like I say, it's just the things that we've seen before. It's basically like it took the Wikipedia page for Tupac and it just took the best moments and just crafted all these scenes based out of it, and you try
Right.
to connect these things into a narrative, but the underlying themes unfortunately aren't really there. It's just all I'm just seeing here is just okay, these are the flaws, let's focus on the flaws, but what about the good stuff? What about the great stuff? What about the things that really made Tupac so influential? I wish that they really could have expanded on those things a little bit more, but
Right.
unfortunately we didn't get that there. But apart from all that, like I said before, I shockingly enough did not hate this movie as much as I didn't go into this thing expecting to hate it. Like I know it wasn't going to be as great as Straight Outta Compton, but somehow I came out of it like, yeah, at least it tried. It was a good effort. You know what I mean? That's the best way to
Right.
say it. It was a good effort. Sure, some once again you have to deal with actors being casted, and they don't look the way how the real actors look or what the real rappers look. But because they look away or they sound a kind of way, I guess you could let it slide. But once again, case in point with Snoop Dogg, like he does not look like Snoop at all. But because he sound like him, I guess you could give him a play. You know what I mean? The musical choices, once again, I wish that we could have had more of his more powerful, more politically charged songs, because he did do that. He did do that. I wish he could have explored a little bit more about this whole thug life thing, because once again the media blew it up into, oh well, thug life is about you being this thug and a gangster. It wasn't about that. It was about you being this underdog and you making something out of yourself, being better than you could have. And I wish that they could have expanded on that. You know what I mean? But apart from all that, though, I mean, it was well shot. I would say that the editing was really spotty in the first 15 20 minutes. But then once that 15 20 minutes ends, I found myself more and more invested in the story. And yes, the film does end the way how it's supposed to end. And I was satisfied by that. But still, I felt once again that narrative could have been fleshed out way better. Because I mean, it's Tupac, Dread. You know what I mean? I'm not expecting them to go beyond the Call of Duty to make this excellent Oscar-worthy film, but at
Right.
least something that would make the Tupac fans, the real Tupac fans, be like, yeah, this was the film that we were waiting for a long time. And unfortunately here, it's not that, but it's still a good effort nonetheless. So, in closing, I would say, like, I would say, like, if you were to, like, for me personally, this is like the holy trinity of this whole early 90s hip hop thing now, basically. So it started off with
Okay.
Notorious, and then you have Straight Outta Compton, and now you have All Eyes on Me, which for me is the weakest of the three. But in no
Yeah.
way am I saying is it a terrible movie. Um,
Okay.
but if you do get a chance to probably just watch all three of them together, I suggest you do. They do complement each other very well. And once again, I really do like the fact that All Eyes on Me didn't have to piggyback off of the events of Straight Outta Compton or Notorious. So yes, they do touch on certain topics, but it's not like they have to recreate every single thing that you've seen before. You're aware of them. You're aware of Suge Knight and how bad he was. You're aware of Rodney King, and you're aware of how bad the white police were at the time. But they don't recreate scenes from other films that you've seen before. I'm glad that they did that. But at the same time, because Tupac was well known, as being this ghetto, revolutionary, I wish that they could have expanded on that aspect, and not just show, oh well, this is how he got in jail and this is how he got shot and all that kind of stuff. I mean, that's
Right.
the stuff that the media will show you and say, oh, he's a bad man and he deserves all these things. But what really made Tupac so influential? What really made him such an icon in terms of not just hip hop music, but just music in general? I wish the film could have expanded on that, but unfortunately it didn't. But like I say, did not hate this film. I just wish that it could have been way better. So for me, I'll give this a very light 3.5 out of 5 stars. If you're a hip hop head, I do recommend that you do see it as soon as you can. Um, if you're not knowledgeable about Tupac at all, I recommend that you watch the documentary Tupac Resurrection, because yes, you hear his life through his own words, and that was a great technique where they do. Just take a bunch of his interviews, just took some great moments and formed a narrative out of it, and even out of that, I got more on who he was inside than this movie did. It just, to me, this movie kind of just show the surface level of Tupac. This is how he
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
on,
Okay.
on on stage, and how arrogant he could be, and hot-headed he could be and stuff. But you know, with Tupac Resurrection, I got more about who he was trying to be. You know, at the end of the day, and I wish that the film could have done that. Um, the acting was decent for the most part. I thought that Demetrius and Denai, you know, really put their energy into really making these characters work. The music was decent. I just wish once again he could have gotten more politically charged stuff, and I would say, you know, the narrative was okay. Like, you do see where they're going. It does have a beginning, middle, and end, literally. But you know, it's just the underlying themes just need to be developed even more. But I do understand why some people didn't like it, because I mean, once again, it's just this hype and build up. And then once again, I was telling myself, well, you know, not that many people would know this movie is out, and you know, I would blame this on poor marketing. I don't know if the studios involved, and I mean, it's not like Universal or anything like that. I saw Morgan Creek Productions. When's the last time you heard about Morgan Creek Productions?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
All right. Oh, wow.
So not like big studios were involved in this, but still the marketing. I you know, if they marketed this thing a lot better, I think they would have gotten more people to see this film on opening weekend. Because I know shows like Mummy and Wonder Woman will just knock this show out of the water, unfortunately, and it's a shame.
Well, Wonder Woman, not a
Yeah.
Mommy.
Yeah, but and I'll say this in closing, because I talk way too much about this show. I really don't want this film to just fall by the wayside. I don't want this movie to be like forgotten, like, oh well, it was just this effort and they tried and they failed, so I don't care about this movie, you know what I mean? I don't want it to be like that. I want people to actually I want people to actually see this film, you know, to judge it for themselves, not just base it off of what Peter Travers from the Hollywood Reporter say, you know. Yes, it is flawed, but in no way is it a terrible, horrible, you know, burn the eyelids off your eyes, bad kind of movie. You know what I mean? It is worth checking out. Like I say, that's why I give it a 3.5. But don't go in expecting straight out of Compton. No, don't go in expecting like this monumentally awesome biopic. It is what it is. It could have been way better, but I don't want people to just forget about this show and just neglect it. I want this thing to have some shelf life, if you will. I want, like, when it comes out of home media, people actually check it out and, you know, buy it. You know, I mean, I actually recommend people buy it, at least check it out, you know. But guys, if you haven't seen it, by all means give it a look. Don't ignore it. If you're a true hip-hop head, definitely see it. If you're not a hip-hop head, I still say give it a look. If you don't care about Tupac or anything, then I don't know why you was listening to me ramble on for so long. You probably wouldn't care about this anyway. But yeah, I still say give this one a look.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
That much more positive review than I expected.
Yeah, like I said, not terrible, but yeah, it could have been so much better, man. I mean, given the subject matter, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So
Good enough.
finally, while I catch my breath and sip on some agua, The Mummy.
The
Remake
Mummy.
/ reboot / something, whatever it is. I don't know. But yeah, I'll leave the floor. Yeah, so you have the mic. Tell me about it.
All right. So I had to slug through this, and again, okay. So the bigger conversation is not so much about the Mummy, but the supposed dark universe and why this movie was made the way it was. This was as bland and as
Pointless.
tired as I expected it to be in terms of world building, acting. I'm gonna just straight up tell you, Tom Cruise was severely miscast in this.
Wow.
Like, seriously. He was totally wrong for the role. But look, he's a big name, and I get why they did it. And I'm gonna get into all of these really cynical decisions that went down. They clearly make this shit for international audiences who don't speak English.
Really? Well, what
That is how
does
the
that
whole
mean?
thing.
Well,
Yeah.
if you can elaborate, please.
Okay, so basically in terms of structure, and again, this is not a new argument, but I really wanted to see it for myself, like what these people were talking about. Basically, they realized that international box office make bank. All right, let's cater to international audiences. But I was mentioning how us in the West here tend to be past postmodernism, and we want interesting world building and depth and blah 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 blah.
Yes.
That's not the case for international audiences. International audiences is more about just a general story, and then if you could just do something in such a way where you could easily translate it to a foreign dub or foreign sub, foreign dub mostly, the way how the dialogue is structured, it's really basic and straightforward. It really like just telling you exposition,
Exposition
exposition.
hearing, yeah.
And that's the thing, is like, wait, why doing so much exposition dumping? I was like, it's to translate to a foreign audience. That's the only thing I could get. Because I refuse to believe that, it's that somebody could be so bland and basic now.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait, this for somebody who not speaking English or something. That's basically what it come across. And that's what people are saying, is that, and then when you watch it yourself, you're baffled by what it was. And then I was remembering an earlier review about it. And I was like, oh yeah, this is exactly what it's talking about. Right, I totally see where they're coming from. That is basically what this was. So the thing is, this had this real basic story structure. And it's basically, all right, so the story is that this ancient woman played by Neill from Kingsman.
Yeah, that's Sophia Boutella, I forget her name.
Boutella, yeah, or something like that. She has an evil plan. She had some ambitions, and they decided to just get rid of her back then, and then they move her body to another country. So that's why she's not in Egypt. She was in Iraq. It's a whole convoluted world building. And then, what do you call it, boy? This fella who's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde for some reason.
Oh yeah. Russell Crowe. Who, by the way, I like when I saw the trailer for the first time, like I saw like 3 seconds of him and some voiceover from him there. I was like, okay, but it's showing Tom Cruise's name, so why didn't showing Russell Crowe, star of the Oscar winner Gladiator? Like, what is that Tom Cruise affair all of a sudden? Want to Russell Crowe? And then is when I heard about this, the whole Dr. Jekyll thing. So I thought it was just them trying to be clever to hide the fact now, like a reveal. Yeah, so it's this blatant world building kind of thing, and it's an easy comparison because it really come across like real lazy and shitty. By the way, the movie had the goal to start with this weird opening sequence about the Dark Universe. So they show a bunch of like old footage of these old monster movies. Because if you think about it, they kind of start. Yeah, and I was like, that real fucking shameless, dude. Like, are they serious with this? They're so ambitious to actually do that, but like, hey, folks, this is going to be the first of the big series.
It totally reminds me of a scene in an underrated movie from Mean Girls where they say, stop trying to make fetch happen.
Right.
That's basically what it felt. It's like, stop trying to make this happen. You're all trying to force this on us. Yeah, that's what it felt like. But the thing, it wasn't like no clever way of bringing forward the Dark Universe, or like a really interesting graphic like how the Marvel Cinematic have it, or how DC do it. It's just lazy bullshit. They just cut it together. No work done. It's like, what the fuck was this? Anyway, whatever.
And it's the universal of all people. Think about that.
Yeah. Now here's the thing. I thought this would have made a lot of cash. Because in my head I was like, all right, well, if Jurassic World made a lot of cash, this could make a lot of cash, and it could internationally still. I still don't know what the numbers are internationally for this. So that's why I say it was clearly structured for an international audience. Like, that's the gamble they were making. They don't care about cynical, postmodern, ironic American audiences. The attitude is that we're gonna go for the big crowd, and that's where the buck's gonna be. And I don't know, it might work as an interesting gamble. I mean, hell, Warcraft did well, right?
Yeah, it did.
Internationally, even though I thought the movie was a kind of a mess, right? And so basically it's Tom Cruise. He unlocked the thing with the mobby, and he had a whole he's basically this guy who went to international Iraq. By the way, they had this whole thing with Iraq, and an international person interfering in Iraq, and they did nothing with that. They made no reference to the Iraq War for some reason. I like, why? They could have done that. That's an easy, nice little character build. I don't know if they need to
that would have made the film a lot more deep and intelligible, but no.
I don't know, whatever. They kind of dropped the ball there. And so basically he freed his mummy woman. The mummy woman now, the mummy woman decided to put a whole, she come back. She want Tom Cruise as she I don't know what it is, she as a sperm donor essentially. That's how it come across. She basically wanted, but it's not sperm donor, I'm making a joke, but it's basically to bring back her dead husband from the past, I think, Seth. That is basically the story. She want him as a body for the set, apparently. So that is, apparently she finds Tom Cruise attractive, right? Who could blame her? Fine. And that is basically the bit. And the story is that at the end then they decide to just follow up of, then you have action sequence again. And not, you think I'm being flippant and dismissive, but that's how the film really goes through. It really goes through the emotions of this shit. It's sluggish, boring, dialogue terrible. Special effects was alright at times, because I suppose they could have do more with this, but this was just rubbish for me, Jared. Anyway, basically they just tease this, basically the quote unquote shield of this world, the kind of Avengers Initiative kind of scene, but for the Mummy and the Invisible Man and all this kind of thing. And they're all trying to hype this with Johnny Depp apparently going to be the Invisible Man, which is good because I don't want to see his face on screen anymore anytime soon. And I forget who playing the Mummy. No, sorry, no, but Tom Cruise is the Mummy, but I forget who playing other characters. Right, thing is, I forget who's the Wolfman. I forget the actors, but they had this famous picture with all of them coming together. And yeah, it's just a really like lazy fucking vehicle to bring forward this universe. And I personally don't want this to work. I kind of want this to fail. Usually, I tend to not root for movies to fail. But if it's this kind of cancerous nonsense, I don't want this to work. I kind of just want this to fail and go away. I want this to be kind of Green Lantern for the DCEU.
Now, on the subject of the DCEU, you know, what you just described now reminds me of, you know, the press kit from Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice. It feels like that, but more in your face, more blatant with it.
No, well, it's not as obnoxious as that because it's still trying to make a working product with this, but. Yeah, it's still pretty goddamn obnoxious what they do here with this. It's like, yeah, they're trying to force it down people's throat. They're copying Marvel, even though they are technically the original cinematic universe. But they show no care in this. They don't give a shit. The director is atrocious in this. Holy crap, the guy have no goddamn talent. I forget who it is. It's some bullshitter. I'd check back the name. Shit.
Let me find it.
It's somebody I hate. Let me just check it.
Alex Kurtzman,
yes, that bullshitter. Fuck that guy. He always pull out bullshit movies. He have a really bad track record, for me. And yeah, overall, this just was a glossy waste of time. What are you supposed to talk about exactly? They just get everything with this. They get wrong. And you know, the thing I was trying to think of is remember when Sean Connery played Alan Quatermain in League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Yes.
That is what they should have done with this. Like, look at that and then build from that in terms of the world now. Yeah. That had the Invisible Man. That had, what do I call him? Dr. Jekyll
and Mr. Hyde.
Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. It had all of these ideas, but that had Nemo and it did its own thing.
Yeah.
Now,
I mean, it was a perfect movie. I mean...
It had its problems and a little bit fell flat, but to me, you could have taken that and built from that with this universe. But no, they decided to just reinvent the whole thing. And again, let me tell you something. Hollywood need to learn this shit fast. It don't make sense trying to invent your own script for a film. Best scripts either borrow from other material that's already like a book or some comic that where all the writing and ideas and themes already spelled out, and it's for you to just delineate that and make that work in a simple story, right? You're not inventing anything. You're just telling a story and then building from there, right? So like why the MCU works so well is that most of it is all polish.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have to invent anything because all the work and the ideas are done. What you have to do is just translate and make it work. They should have done the same thing with this. Say, look for these ideas, build from. Again, you have another movie, you have Leader Extraordinary Gentlemen to work from. Take those ideas and build from that. And they didn't even try. And this was just a mess. It just goddamn depressing. I suppose they're gonna make more of these, maybe, but I kind of want this to fail, frankly. As I said, because it just kind of cancerous and is the kind of the worst of cinema and Hollywood. I still expect it to make some cash, just like Jurassic World does. Jurassic World was still basic bitch chick. But at least Jurassic World had a kind of postmodern spin and bent to everything, right? Exactly. It was kind of winking at the audience and being this. This was just taking itself so goddamn seriously. What's the name of the name of the evil group? Not the evil group. Is the shield of this world? Prodigium or some bullshit like that. And I really forgot all of the world building immediately I walked out of this film. I could give a shit to care. Like you see how with MCU, you see how MCU, you see Nick Fury and you're like, yeah, cool, yeah, you're into the world building and you're talking about all the extra shit and who and what and why this is this, and you actually give a shit about the world building in MCU.
Exactly.
Even though
you want to learn more about it. This
is like, yeah, I can take the time to remember any of these details and all of this hullabaloo and nonsense. This is a mess. I'm just gonna give them a rating and then try to move on as fast as I can, because I just we'll talk a little bit about just what it means for this if they make more movies, if it make money. But this was I'm gonna give this like a low CC8 and like a really low CC8 because it was kind of bullshit.
Right.
Can waste a goddamn time in my opinion. They try the same thing with Dracula Untold. Remember that?
Yeah, remembered it, forgot it, remembered it again because Luke
Right.
Evans show back up in Beauty and the Beast. It's like, all right, he was in that show.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Same bullshit, and it's the same. They're trying to start their own universe, and I suppose if they like that movie, I didn't completely hate compared to this. This was just a waste of my time, and I frankly say a waste of my money because I actually paid for this. Like, oh shit.
Yeah, you
And I felt it kind of, even though I enjoyed the day and I went and I had a burger and I had fun, this was just, but it was a total slug. This did not need to be made in any way, shape, or form. Skip this shit. Do not go and see it. I could tell you that from, well, I hope I did see it last week, but yeah, skip it. It's a mess. Don't spend any money on this. As I say, if you really have to like find time to go in some air conditioned place for 2 hours, maybe, if you're stuck in traffic, then go see it in CC8 if you could, but that's about it.
I would just say torrent it. Just torrent it. If you're curious,
it's
torrent it.
this
4
was
months from now, you might get a clean copy, and then you delete it immediately afterwards.
Yeah, that is a total mess. Look, I don't openly promote torrent, and if you have the option to see it, to pay for a product. But yeah, this just pointless. As I said, I still think it'll make bank, frankly, because it could do internationally. Although I know China have a big problem with supernatural stuff in the audiences. That's like a big cynical kind of gamble they make up over there. They like robots and sci-fi shit, but they hate ghosts and supernatural stuff. So I'm not sure if that'll stick. But yeah, that's why it really nakedly felt like a product for international money. Say, all right, fuck America, we're not gonna cater to them snooty audience members with their good stories and compelling characters.
Exactly. We just want to make dumb films for
right, and
dumb
it really
people
come across like
because
a
it's
vehicle
summer.
to do that. And as I said with Tom Cruise, if it was a smaller star, I'd probably tolerate this more. But like Tom Cruise, you could pick better projects than this. I mean, sorry.
Yeah, and I know he's a man who picks really great projects to work
That's the
on.
thing.
But
That's the thing. It's like, wait, why are you in this? I know you want to make the universe thing, but like, why this? You don't need to be in this. I kind of understand Sophia Botella in this. It's like she's not that big of a star, right? Fine. Same thing with Russell Crowe. Why the fuck you in this too? You're above this shit.
He's above this.
You're above this.
Gladiator, Master and Commander people. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, this was just a waste of goddamn time.
Yeah.
Whatever.
But as you bring up that, I think we could kind of rope into the thing you want to talk about before we close things off.
Right.
As you mentioned, Dracula Untold is something that I was noticing for like a long while now. It's like every time somebody does something great with a franchise or with an idea or a film. So case in point, you had Bram Stoker's Dracula, right? Probably in my opinion the best film adaptation of that story to date, right?
Right. Yeah.
What would Hollywood do? They would say, "Oh, it's 2000. Let's make Dracula 2000 because it's 2000 and people just need to be reminded of Dracula." Then right after that, you bring him in as a villain in Blade Trinity. Fail.
Right.
Then you have Dracula Untold. Fail. You know? But now you have this thing with the Mummy, right? So, okay. Mummy came out in 99. It was a smash hit. People didn't expect it. It was this nice throwback to, Indiana Jones stuff.
I didn't want to compare it to the Brendan Fraser vehicle because
I know, but you can't help but do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, go ahead now. Go ahead.
Yeah, but you can't help but compare it to that. So yes, the third film, what was the Dragon Emperor, whatever it was with Jet Li, I didn't care for it.
Yeah, that's a mess.
When I saw this movie here, I assumed that they just rebooted the franchise here because of that third film that came out years ago. I think it came out around the time when Dark Knight came out, right? So yeah, right. So of course, people didn't care about that movie back then. They more care about Dark Knight. But the point is, I thought that it was just a simple reboot. But it was when I hear, it's part of this dark universe thing, because we have to remind audiences, hey guys, back in the 30s, we made films like Frankenstein and the Wolfman and all these things. I know we Van Helsing, and that was like a hot mess. Yes, it was entertaining, but it was a hot mess. Let me all admit that.
Yeah, that was a hot mess.
But we have to remind people again because it's 2017 and we need money, folks. So let's create this universe because everything is about universes now. You know what I mean? It's pathetic to me. You know what I mean? That's my point. It's like, okay, you have this great film that set up this character, but why does Hollywood feel the need to just redo these characters again and again? And then on top of all that, I think this is where you're gonna lead into now. We know it has to be part of a universe now, so all these characters are connected now.
Right.
Why?
And there's another thing too, is that you need to realize how goddamn difficult and just borderline miraculous a cinematic universe is. To pull that shit off, you had a gamble. And the idea that you could engineer this from beforehand is total nonsense, right? Marvel didn't engineer this and didn't think, we would be able to do this. The idea was, look, if this works, then we can do this. But this idea of this grand scheming plan, it only really started to form itself after Captain America, right? It's only when Captain America started working and then Avengers hit and exploded the whole thing. Then they said, all right, now we have the legs and the momentum to make it work. But you can't make a proper starting movie, and you're trying to force it down people's throat and make it work. The only reason the DCU work is because of how iconic Batman and Superman are as figures.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that sheer momentum of that sheer cultural and social momentum that those characters have, right? Especially with the success of the Nolan trilogy for the most part, right?
Yes.
But that's the thing. But this now, yes, I know who the Mummy is, but I don't give a shit about those characters when you think about it. You have to sell that to me. And the probability of you being able to just sell all these characters to me as this universe and make it work, it don't really make any sense. As I said, the best approach you could have taken with this is do League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Do that over again and then actually take that film and what didn't work, try to do that over again and start with that.
At least make it feel like the graphic novel it was inspired from.
Or something like that. Do something with it. And again, borrow from the writing. Don't try to write and invent your new universe on a script. Nobody give a fuck about Hollywood scripts anymore when it comes to these big sci-fi blockbuster shit. Hollywood scripts is work for smaller movies, more personal movies where you have your night crawlers and your whiplashes. That's where Hollywood scripts work. Mm-hmm. They don't work with this big shit anymore. You can't invent that. You'll fuck it up. Nobody care about. That's why 90s comics movies are terrible. Phantom was garbage. Sorry. Right?
I remember going to see that in cinema. I was like, right? I don't remember a single thing about it. I just remember going to see it.
I remember kind of hating it because of the ring in the end. And that MacGuffin at the end, was bullshit. Hated that shit. Whatever.
Yeah.
I know that some people might defend Phantom. I ain't not going to defend Phantom.
Yeah.
Point is...
I never watched, what was The Shadow? I always heard things about The Shadow, but I never saw it.
The Shadow I would defend. That is a movie I would defend. I would defend Shadow. That is Alec Baldwin movie, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll defend that. And then Darkman is another movie I'd kind of defend.
Yes. I enjoy Darkman. I really like that. That was
so
Sam Raimi's,
right.
Like the superhero movie. You could tell you always wanted to make. So I was like, yeah.
Yeah. But Phantom was bullshit. Anyway, but the point is that, look, you need to understand that we live in an age where men have a different set of tastes. And again, I know they're going for the quote-unquote cynical gamble of the international audience, quote-unquote, but that shit ought to work out. And I know it's Universal and they're trying that thing, and they make a certain money with Jurassic World, which was actually a bit of a surprise, but in retrospect, it wasn't that much. But yeah, I just want this to die, frankly. This is just sad. It's a sort of bullshit, and I just want it to die, frankly. I tend to not root for things to fail, but everything about this is just wrong and cancerous, in my opinion. Just let it go away. Whatever.
Yeah, personally,
I don't want it to make money.
Sorry. Yeah, for me, personally, I just find they should not have just thrown out this dark universe gimmick thing in the first place. It's like even like long before the movie even came out, this was like a big announcement. Like you don't even know if the show is going to be a success or flop. Yeah. But no, folks, you know what I mean. And that is how it is supposed to be. Like historically, if your movie is a success, then you're gonna get a sequel. But now you just throw it out like, hey, we're gonna have sequels or spin-offs or whatever it is. How are you doing that?
And even with the DCU, Man of Steel was a start, and Man of Steel is a movie I defend because it, is a movie that set up a lot of great, decent foundation for other movies. Now I thought they royally fuck it up with Batman v Superman and kind of to a certain extent Suicide Squad, but Man of Steel was a decent start to the material in terms of like your universe building. Like again, you get a sense of our planning going on, some sense. But this is like, are you serious with this? This is a mess, Dread. Whatever. As I say, low CC8, don't waste your time. Kind of a mess. Not as bad as I won't go as far as saying it is a Windsor, but it about there. It just like all these story beats was a mess. It had some okay jokes and a couple action sequences I liked. It had some interesting moments, but it's like I would have never, if I knew what was going into, it's like nah. But I know it was gonna be kind of bad, but I didn't think it would be this kind of bad. This kind of uninteresting, bland nonsense. At least Batman v Superman had a shocking bad tip that you could say, okay, I'll go and watch it multiple times just to argue about it. This was like, this is It's just a goddamn tragedy.
And you know what's the
Whatever.
ironic thing for me though, and we'll just close things off from there, is
Yeah.
that more people are gonna watch that than All Eyes on Me. I'm not saying that everybody had
Probably.
to drop everything to go and see it, but I just saying big dumb summer blockbuster. You don't see Wonder Woman twice already.
Yeah.
So what else is here? How about that one show with Tom Cruise and that mummy chick? Why not?
Yeah, no, but that's the problem. I don't know. I think people just gonna see Wonder Woman a third time because, like, seriously, Wonder Woman just gain a good space where everything is just a hot mess. But this just not working at all, Jude. Holy crap, whatever.
What a shame.
Uh,
and it's
let me
a
just-
shame. And
let me
a
just
shame
turn
that
my brain
just
off
yeah. That's
I'm
last.
gonna turn my brain off and wait for Spider-Man.
Alright,
because
last thing. It's
Yeah.
a shame not just for the people involved, like Tom Cruise, Russell Crowe, but and not just the name of it, the mummy, because I mean the first one and to extend the second one was such great fantasy adventure / horror films,
Right.
You
Right.
just take a gigantic dump over them. But to me, Universal had to feel that shade, right? Because it's like they're just trying to play catch up with Marvel Studios and
Aye.
Sony and everybody else who just jumping on this whole universe bandwagon. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's a shame, man.
Yeah.
Not from old veterans like Universal, man. I mean, come on.
Right.
Anywho,
Yeah. Well.
right. So Ricardo, where can we find you online, dude?
Pussat.
Maybe.
Pussat. RMEDDY on Twitter. That is at RMEDDY at Armedi on Twitter. And then you could find me, just type in my name on Facebook and you should find me there. You can find me on Twitter. That's a lot more reliable. I think you should find me there. I'm not sure if I have some connection. I think I lose some friends. I think Twitter doing some shenanigans with my connections. I ain't sure what's going on. I get the feeling. I know I was friends with somebody and I lose friends with them. I'm not sure who it was. So I probably had to go back and friend them and check what's going on. I had to check my list and see who I'm supposed to be friends with. But you should just catch me there.
Right. Okay, well, you could also find me on Twitter. Just look for Legally Black MJB in capital letters. You could also find me on Facebook. Just look for my name, Matthew Bailey, alongside Legally Black official fan base, where you will find the link to this podcast here, as well as the ones that I've done before, including my written stuff. And also feel free to check out my VidMe channel, if you will, vid.me/legally black, where you'll find all the podcasts that we've done before over the past 2 years or thereabout.
Yeah. And don't forget your Patreon. You should hype your Patreon.
Yes. And guys, don't forget my Patreon.
Yeah, that's
I've
hype.
been meaning to kind of tweak things up a bit, but yes, I do have a Patreon. It does exist.
Yeah.
Please give it a look and please show your support, man. I mean, feel free to let me know, how I could improve on this show as well too. I'll greatly appreciate your comments.
Right, no problem.
All right, so stuff to look forward to.
Well, Spider-Man.
Spider-Man is next month. This week coming up here, we have The Last Night.
All right, we have this bullshit.
Boy.
I completely forgot about that bullshit.
And I'm going to say this one time, more than likely, I may end up seeing this film in IMAX.
Yeah, well,
I kind of want to. I know the show just suck really hard, but I just want to see this film in IMAX. Like, I've never, like, in the 10 years since this franchise has been running, 10 years, I've never seen any of these films in IMAX. But on the subject of seeing them, like, I've always seen these films, at least twice. Well, at least with the first one, I've seen it more than twice, actually. I really do love that movie. But the others, I've seen them, like, about twice, and I just gave up. Like, just quite recently, I watched over Age of Extinction. That length was just so punishing and so torturous.
Horrible.
I just gave up. It really did feel like I was numb to it. Like, I was just watching all the CG. I'll mention it in the next episode. I was just numb to everything. I was just like, wow, look at Optimus. Wow, look at the Dinobots. Ooh. While all this time, this movie was just punching me in the face to the point I wasn't even feeling any pain. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I saw it. I actually saw Age of Extinction in IMAX, and I was like, yes, I totally check out from that movie because, like, and as I say, I always tell that story. I always tell that story of the guy who, like, the movie totally incoherent, but the guy was like cheering it on.
Yes.
Yeah, and I was like, all right, I cannot give up. This ain't for me, and it now hit me. It really hit me. Like, wow, Michael Bay, don't give a fuck. This is not the audience. I'm not this audience, and he knows his audience, and that, whatever.
Yeah.
But
on that though, yes, we will. Well, I don't know if you're gonna check it out. I'll make the effort to, but we will have to talk about our history with this Transformers franchise. But we have to talk about that.
Yeah.
Along with that, I will also make the effort to check out season 3 of Better Call Saul.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, which this final episode is supposed to be this week at the time of this recording, so I'll make
Right.
sure to binge all 10 episodes and hopefully give you guys a review of that.
Okay. No problem.
TV, other stuff TV wise, nothing really comes to mind. But yes, as you mentioned before, yes, we are getting Spider-Man Homecoming next month. Remind me again, War for the Planet of the Apes is coming out in July as well, right?
I think so.
I think so.
I had to check our list. I had to check the list. Whatever.
All right. Another show that I'm excited for, Baby Driver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been hearing
From
about that.
one of my favorite directors,
you know what I'll
Edgar
try to
Wright.
do? I'll try to get some films that I missed that was from the last year and just do reviews of those, because we just kind of missed some decent films that passed, like much like with Free Fire.
Yes.
It have a movie Slight. I didn't get a chance to see that. I heard that's quite not that bad.
Yeah, I really want to see Slight as well too. I saw
Yeah.
a couple of trailers for it.
Right. So I want to just, it have a bunch of little films that just come and go on, and again, Cinema One. That's the kind of shit you had to be doing.
Yeah.
Those are the kind of films you had to be showing the people who go and see them. Whatever.
Yeah, totally agree.
Again, I think this is slated to be one of the worst summers ever. I think it's one of the worst summers since 1997, I think, or one of those really a really bad summer from a money standpoint.
1997. Oh my god.
I think it's
that
one of
was a
those
year.
really, in terms of profits, it's like one of the worst, because people don't give a fuck, and it's just shit movies and shit sequels.
Oh, speaking of shit sequels, well, at least I'm hoping it's not. Cars 3. How could we forget Cars 3?
Right, yeah, that coming out. Okay, let me just check through the list, because I'm missing my movies.
Here's the thing, I'll just talk while you search. Saw Cars on Stars. Yes, saw Cars on Stars. Watch it. I was like, alright, that was okay, cool. Didn't see 2. Cause here 2 was just unnecessary.
Yeah, no, Cars 2 was pointless, right?
Yeah,
Anyway, we'll talk about it with Cars, because Cars only exists because it actually is one of the more profitable films, even though it creatively it feels kind of bankrupt and kind of weak. But it's also because John Lasseter is a big fan of Cars.
Yes.
John Lasseter loves Cars, so it's like, yeah, that is it. That is the only reason it exists.
Right.
I'll probably make the effort to go see Captain Underpants, but you'll probably not. I don't know if I'll make the effort to see a review. Rough Night, I'll take the effort to hear. It wasn't that bad.
Yeah, and I actually like the actresses involved too. I'll see if I could check it out as well.
Yeah, I'll take the effort to go see Rough.
You know, like you said before, catching up on films that may have missed your radar. I'll do the same as well. Because there were some films that came out like this year actually. A couple of Netflix that the names escape me right now, but I know there were a couple that I wanted to see, so I'll make the chance to review them. So you should you could expect a couple of reviews of those
right,
in the next few episodes, if you will.
Right. No, right. So we have some movies. So Cars 3, Transformers, and then Baby Driver is next, is the 28th.
Yeah.
I'll go see that. So yeah, this is really Cars and Transformers. Cars, 2 sets of Cars movies, 2 robot Cars movies for some reason.
Right. Yeah. So this whole, like, for the next couple of weeks is just car shows or something like that.
Yeah. Car, and then a Spidey.
Right.
Whatever.
Okay, so that's pretty much about it. So once again, guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whenever you listen to this. This was Matthew Bailey and
Ricardo Medina.
And we are signing off from another episode of Bears, Beats, and Bailey. So take care, guys. Until the next one. Peace.
Peace. Yeah.